Hello and welcome everybody. Hello, it is I, Trooper SJP, and this is the Academic Foxhole, and it is our Saturday stream. How are you all? I have so many things I want to talk to you talk with you all about. I feel like prepositions sometimes are confusing. Wait, where's my chat? Here it is. It's right up here. How is everybody? Also, I feel like I don't want it there. I feel like I want it here. I feel like that will be easier to read. Hey everyone! Hi Baron Tor, Origami Shuriken, Atomica. You were going to watch the season open, but got distracted by Chinese food. That makes sense. Chinese food is very distracting, and now I want Chinese food. I need to think about this. Rissa says, my favorite line is still, I've never fathered anything before. Oh, so, hi, it's Saturday. We are playing The Outer Worlds, which this is episode 41 of playing The Outer Worlds. If we can make it to 52, it'll be a whole year of playing Outer Worlds, which is fine, makes sense to me. Hey, Commander Pulsar. Oh, you reminded me. Commander Pulsar, you reminded me of something. I'm not sure about Regina being in charge. Hey, well, we will find out, won't we? What Chinese food? Stream starts, I'm suddenly in a Maxwell cassette commercial. Hey. The ad just... For those of you who are around in the 80s, also the 70s, Maxwell cassettes had this ad where there was a man sitting in a chair, but the chair was like kind of like a comfortable sort of a comfortable chair, right? And he was super deep in it, and like he was like slouched down into the chair, you know, and then he had his arms on the arms of the chair, and he had these dark sunglasses on, so you could really only see like his head. And the chair had like, you know, like sides, and you could only see his head and like anyway, and then his hair was being blown back and he's sitting right in front of these speakers. The point being that Maxwell cassettes are just so good that they blow you away and they blow your hair back like that. So those were Maxwell cassette situations. I feel like, what is going on? Oh, I know what's going on. I found a good recipe for fried rice on the internet. Ooh. Sort of playing. Hey, Mrs. Barentor, how are you? So many thoughts. We're gonna talk to Ellie's parents today. If we can find them, we're gonna talk to her parents today. Mama Tango is the best. Okay, I understood that reference. Not in Europe. The audio quality was so good that it blew you away. I love Mama Tango. I never had that experience with Mr. Monkey, maybe you just weren't doing it right. And I somehow the idea was that Maxwell cassettes were so good that you'd be driven insane by Cthulhuid monsters. I don't think that was really what they were going for, but you know, we could take it that way. Both cats are in Zoom mode today, and Stacy's making pancakes. Ooh. I want pancakes. Ooh, I just, not gonna. It was the 80s. We don't need to try to understand. That's true. Speaking of, it also depends on the quality of the cassettes you got. Yeah, speaking of cassettes, I've got a bunch of cassettes that I really should digitize before they all die. You know what I mean? Like, I digitized some of the things that I need. Oh, remember that one. I digitized some of the things, but I did not digitize all of the things, so I need to get that done. The way she zipped to the general. Well, I was recording only average quality TV. There was a lot of cocaine involved. That's why you just don't have to understand the 80s. Do you remember Saturday Night Live had this? Okay, so now I just thought about something different. My favorite fake ad from Saturday Night Live ever was from the 80s, and it was, hey, Red Rum Jiggler. I remember my dad recording on Maxwell cassettes, and we were told if we had to sneeze, cough, burp, or fart, or any other sounds, we needed to vacate the house. Yeah, especially if you got the metal cassettes. I can make both your desires, Worst Trooper. The Korean restaurant I love makes awesome scaling. Okay, now I want them both. Also donuts. Band salad and the noble art of preparing it. So it was this ad in Saturday Night Live. I'm gonna say things, by the way. This ad in Saturday Night Live for Calvin Klein. If you remember when Obsession came out from Calvin Klein, it was like the first unisex perfume / cologne, and the ads for it were all in black and white and like super arty, like also very vague. It was very unclear what they were selling. It was just like people being vague and like standing around in like black and white and looking dramatic, and you're like, we don't know what's happening right now. And at the very end, it's like Obsession by Calvin Klein, and they did this take of, they did a spoof on that, and there was a Phil Hartman, and he was sort of like narrating about Jan Hooks, the woman. He was like, I might still have it memorized. I don't know, because we memorized it back in high school because we found the ad so hilarious. And it was like, she was an incandescent angel dancing on the edge. And like you see, Jan Hooks floating through things, and then you see like Dana Carvey in a black turtleneck. And I think Dana Carvey's like, only I understood her inner soul. And like, anyway, the point is that she's at a big party, and you see her like cleaning with like she's like in a black dress, that's very fancy. And you see her cleaning with a small vacuum, and then you see her dusting, and there's clearly she's like doing a lot of cleaning. And then she's at this party, and somebody knocks over a glass of red wine, and Nora Dunn goes, a little club soda will get that out. And you see Jan Hooks, who's on the ground trying to scrub up this mess. She looks up, she goes, liar. And it's all very, very dramatic. And at the very end, of course, somewhere there's a line between cleanliness and obsession, and that is compulsion, right? And it was Compulsion by Calvin Klein. Anyway, we all thought it was hilarious back in the day, is all I'm saying. SNL, that explains everything. I resisted ordering food today. I had a 2-for-1 coupon for a restaurant, but even with that, it was still about 5 times the price of buying it in the supermarket. Ooh, yeah. Scent commercials are... Mrs. Barentor, it is true. Scent commercials are also often very weird, but do you remember there was a moment, I think it was probably the 90s maybe, it might have been the late 80s, when car commercials got really weird? I think it was for a car called Infiniti maybe. Anyway, I remember watching a car commercial. Well, I was watching a commercial and I really had no idea what the product was at all. It turns out it was for a car, but I would not have been able to tell that because it didn't actually, it was super vague. It was just like mountain road, the ocean. It was just, I was like, is this for a perfume? Is this for, what is this for? It was, there sometimes, yeah, they had, I think they were, I feel like, I think we can just go back to what Volpa says. Cocaine in the 80s probably explained a lot of those things, those strange things that I don't really understand. Cleaning while in a black dress, impractical. Not nearly as impractical as doing it in a white dress after Labor Day. True. Tomika says, I know it's super inappropriate and really, really wrong, but my favorite SNL commercials for the Rosetta Stone. I actually have to see that one again. Oh. Ooh. I feel like Mrs. Barentor found the commercial I'm talking about, and I'm going to just put that in one of my many tabs. I wanted to tell you something that for me is very exciting. For other people, I don't know, but for me, it is very exciting. Is it? No, it's not what I want. That's an ad. But, Compulsion. I'm so excited. Oh, I get to watch it. I want to learn German to speak to my nan about recipes. I want to learn French so I can travel. I want to learn Thai for reasons. I also want to... Ice Bunny says, band salad is when the tape gets eaten by the player and you get it out of the player without ripping the tape over and carefully getting it back in the tape. Oh, yeah, no, I remember that. We never called it band salad, though. It was just like, oh, no, and you had to take the pencil, put the pencil in the spool, and then just start slowly, like, re-spooling your cassette tape and just hope that it isn't too wrinkled. I do love the new Alexa commercial about the perfect body for it. I have to see that, too. Do not taunt Happy Fun Ball. Mathsha! Thank you. I always feel that somebody's watching me, and I have no privacy. Whoa, I always feel that somebody's watching me. Tell me, is it just a dream? Bow. Thank you. By the way, I'm going to be doing some Final Cut Pro stuff to make the stream from last night all fancy. And thank you for the follow. It is much appreciated. I hope everybody's doing well. Was Happy Fun Ball SNL or Mad TV? Oh, Jer, that's a very good question. Yeah, that's a very good question. And I say that because I feel like people don't talk about Mad TV. And Mad TV had some very, very funny things. I'm just saying. Oh, Rissa says the new credits are slick. Thank you. I worked on those. I was like, oh, getting those up. And I was very excited. If you were young and stupid, you stuck your pin in it and spun it like a, it's just like a toy maker to wind it faster, even though it ruined the tape. Yep. Oh yeah, no. Yeah, Miss Monkey. Yeah, you can totally rewind your cassette tapes. You can also do it with VCRs, VCR tapes, but it's just a little bit harder because you can't use a pencil. You have to kind of like stick your fingers in the spool. You have to sort of hold the flap of the VCR. Okay, so with the VCR cassette, there's a little button. So you've got the cassette, and there's a little button, this little triangle button. You hold that in, which will allow you to open up the flap. So you open up the flap, and then use your finger to hold it down. And then you've got to kind of stick your fingers inside the little spool, and then you can do it. It's just really awkward. It's much easier with a cassette tape. Happy Fun Ball was SNL. Mad TV was good, though. Yeah. Oh, Commander Pulsar, you reminded me again. I'm reminded one more time of the thing that I have to do. Also, I have to clearly get this Vulpes. Thank you. I've got to get this link because I feel like it'll be important. Also, I have so many things to tell you. I have a present for people. Okay.
Just flawless.
No,
Isn't it?
no ads. There we go. Oh, that's it. Oh, that reminds me. I got to work on my new follow alert. I'm pretty entertained by what I have in mind. Ooh. That's exciting. Yeah. Oh, so guess what, everybody? I got a present from Commander Pulsar, and it came in the mail, despite the snow outside, and it's very exciting. It's very exciting. First off, thank you, Commander Pulsar, for this. You do need to know something. I know it looks like all I do is do historical RPGs, but I swear I also do non-historical RPGs. You just have no proof of that. But it's true. I mean, I have not GM'd a non-historical RPG in a couple of years, but I have done it. It is true. Krellin was like, citation needed. I was like, I cannot give you a citation that is online because I believe that the only things that I have GM'd online have been historicals, but so I got a gift from Commander Pulsar, and it is Aegon, which is set in ancient Greece. Yes. And I am also very excited about it. That is also true. It's just, okay, so the thing is, I realize this looks like it's another historical, but I think it's, if it's mythical, then maybe it doesn't count as, there's nothing wrong with being a history nerd, maybe hoisted by your own academic petard. That's probably true. That's true. But Origami Shuriken points out that you see me play in non-historical RPGs. That is true. One of these this way pictures or it never happened. Do VTM games count as historical? Well, first off, I see you, PH. No. I mean, if you do Dark Ages, maybe. But a lot of VTM games are contemporary, and I sort of think that modern's different than historical. I think modern's different than historical, and I have a reason for that as well. I think it's because conventional wisdom is that historicals don't sell, that if you make a historical game, it will not sell well, RPG-wise. Ooh, come on to my house, come on. Come on to my house, come on. Come on to my house, I'm gonna give you candy. Come on to my house, I'm gonna give you everything. Lizard eats flies. We were talking about you the other day, by the way. Thank you so much for the host. Yeah, we were talking about you, Lizard eats flies, last night for the premiere of City of Light and Shadow, where I was just mentioning how great you are, because you're great, and like, you know, you're in our, you're great. That's it. How are you doing, Lizard eats flies? How are you, and what are you up to? Also, I wanted to, yes. So this is in the mists of ancient time. A poet sings of great deeds wrought by mighty heroes, of monsters slain and justice restored, of wise counsel and devious strategies, of courage, valor, and daring, defiant of the gods themselves. In Aegon, you create these heroes, crafting their epic tale into an immortal legend. On their way back home from war, Odysseus, a band of heroes become lost among strange islands, Odysseus, populated by mythical creatures, dangerous villains, legendary kingdoms, and desperate people, each entangled in a strife at the mercy of the capricious gods. It falls to you, as the epic heroes of your age, to seize this opportunity for greatness, to set things right in these lost lands, overcome the trials of gods, monsters, and mortals, prove the glory of your name, and win your way back home, Odysseus. In this book you'll find rules for creating your epic heroes, earning glory for their names, and forging their eternal legends. Divine favor, bonds, and pathos to call upon for great deeds. Islands full of gods, monsters, and people to challenge your heroes. Contests of arts and oration. Blood and valor, craft and reason, and resolve and spirit, testing both the prowess and passions of the heroes. Guidance for the Strife player, who presents the challenges of the island. Strife player's GM. The vault of heaven to record your progress towards returning home to the grace or ire of the gods. The trials await. The trials of glory await. I'm excited. I do non-historical games. Oh, citation needed. Yeah, I'm concerned. PH goes ancient Greece, but Greece is the word, though. You know, it's the word that you heard. I don't know if I should say those things out loud, because then you'll be like, what, really? And I'll be like, well, I mean, it's, you know. And Crone's like, they do if they're set in a historical period. I would agree, right? I feel like Dark Ages is historical. Oh my God, Zeus throws Greece of lightning. PH, why do you do this to me? Why do you wound me? I mean, academically, Trooper is his own primary source, so can just cite himself. Oh, that's true. Is Aegon its own system? I just got back. That's actually a good question. It seems like it. Counting mythical as historical is a slippery subject. You know, Missile, I feel like this is an interesting question that gets theological, right? Because if you say that mythological is not historical because of question, because it's myth, but then that makes me think, well, we have religions today that also have exciting things in them, supernatural sorts of things. Are we going to say that we currently live in an age of myth because people believe in mythological things? Some people might be irritated if you said that. Let's see. It looks like its own system. I'm looking at the character sheet, and it looks like its own system. I thought it could be like Powered by the Apocalypse, but you've got like 4 domains there. and then an epithet and a name, right? Lineage and pronouns and some. Yeah, so it looks to me like it's it looks to me as if it's its own system. Is what it looks like. That is my sense of it. It does not look like it's powered by the apocalypse, and it's not fate, and it's evil hat. So I think it's its own system. I didn't send it because it was historical. Paul says, I didn't send it because it was historical. I promise. I don't know if that's true. I feel like you're just trying to lure me. I was going to say that, you know, I think that I'm out and they pull me back in. Except that I'm going to be GMing 2 RPGs this. I'm GMing 2 RPGs this season, this semester, besides City of Light and Shadow. One of which is going to be steampunk, which is historical. And I was like, the other one is like Call of Cthulhu. And I was like, wait, it is not. The other one is Fate of Cthulhu, which probably doesn't count as historical because it's set in the future and you time travel back to the present, which would make the present history, but the present is the current day. So I feel like they're not historical. I'm just saying it. Soon in a stream near you, trooper in a toga due to historical context. Although Trax would tell us things about togas. When in doubt, Trooper SJP, cite Heisenberg. If we observed you gymming a non-historical RPG, we would just be distorting your game. Maybe that's true. Though the hack I'm doing with it is also a historical mythic thing. Oh, cool. Lizard eats flies. Oh, goodness. You can give me candy anytime. Of course, I would love to. So we need another 10 years. World War II games considered historical in the 80s. Yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah. Lizard, we were just saying how great you are. That's all. Your recorded RPG shows are vaguely historical. That's also true. So, wait, you just called me great. Also, clearly I'm behind on chat, but I'm getting there. You're great, Lizard. Aw. I think the closest thing I've done to a historical RPG was a golden age of Super Duper. 1950s Fathoms. Fantasy parts. Yeah, I've also been in a lot of historicals. I just, you started a new job? And it's, what is the new job? Lizard, what's the new job? And it's intense, yes, but are you enjoying it? Do you feel competent and good? Like, are you feeling, like, how's that going? Let me know. And we're getting caught up. Because Intent's good. Yay, yay. It's a San Francisco software startup. It's super rad, though. I'm employee 4. Ooh, what do you do? What's the startup? Do you get to do audio stuff? Like, say more. I'm very excited. Yep, I really like Strife as a term for GM. Oh. Just sort of disembodied, right? Epic oration like rap battles? Yes. Yes. Okay, so not really historical. Holy back text Batman. Yeah. I believe I watched NerdProv do an Aegon campaign on Random Tuesday's channel. Really? Because I feel like probably, maybe. Yeah, I think it's based on the Odyssey. I think it's based on the Odyssey is what I think. I think it's based on the Odyssey. If you've ever seen Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, that's the hack of Aegon I'm running now. Ooh. Yeah, that makes sense, of course, right? Because Oh Brother was based on the Odyssey. So yeah. Well, Commander Pulthar, I have a lot of things I need to know now. Maybe the Argonauts? Probably a bit of both. Hey, Death Star Taco, how are you? The Garden of Eden is historical to only some people. I'm waiting on a board game, says Volpes, set in this area based around the Odyssey, Aeon Trespass. Oh, probably, yeah, also probably the Argonauts. Yes. We do currently live in an age of myth, because I'm Fae. Oh, fair enough. I'll take it. Yes, they're calling Aegon's system Paragon when it's used in other hacks. There are at least 4 reskinnings I'm aware of, including Battlestar Galactica, makes sense, and Transformers, with the serial spelled out. I have a question about that. It is not PBTA, says Crone, which makes sense. It's Evil Hat, it's automatically awesome, because reasons. Is it because you like evil hats, Missile Monkey? Is that what it is? Creator Pulsar says, Strife sets a difficulty, which is also the glory reward. Then players build a pool to try to beat that difficulty. Oh, interesting. Ice Bunny says, because it is from the oral tradition that did not produce written sources, and that is what historians have a problem with, because all that is not written is prehistoric and not history. Depends on the historian. Depends on the historian. Just, I mean, you know. Riss is back. Welcome back. Commander Pulso says, I like the competitive cooperative nature of contests. Players want to beat the difficulty, but also want to beat the other player's totals. Oh, the best gets the most glory. Well, that's interesting. I'm going to put my chat back over here. I don't know if it's good, but I'll do it. Lizard says, some days I feel competent and good, but it's new language stuff. Yeah. I mean, that's always, whenever you get a new job, you always feel incompetent for a bit of time until you get into it. Lizard says, it's developer tools. Oh, we are making awesome stuff to make coding suck less for other developers. Oh, well, that's cool. Random Tuesday did an Aegon stream. It was very good. I must have seen it, right? I must have seen it because I feel like I just watch everything RPG on that channel. I'll just have to find a link and watch it again to see if it sparks my memory, because I just feel like I should. Not at all music related though. Fine, but I like your music. I had completely forgotten about that Aegon RPG show that Lauren did. To look. Death Star Taco says, I'm doing pretty well. Got the place shoveled out. Good. Got the bird seed and bath all topped up, ready for more. You know what? City of Light and Shadows? I feel like that's what it is. History is written by whomever gets published first. After that, it's hearsay or heresy. I mean, it's really unclear. This will trigger your memory. Stout leg. Yes. I did watch it. Yes. Trooper, the Doofus and I had historic method. The class I failed 2 times was like that. Only the stuff. I mean, the thing is, what I will say is that there are different threads and strands in history, different traditions and different schools of history. And my understanding is that Europe is somewhat conservative, academically, generally speaking, in that a lot of the sort of newer, the UK doesn't count there. Let's say continental Europe. That continental Europe's a little bit conservative when it comes to its academics. And they are like, probably for a bunch of different reasons, but probably because it's actually really difficult to get tenure in various ways there, so that people get it, and they have a lot of people who don't have tenure, and so you tend to end up having people, you don't have a lot of new, fresh blood sort of in positions of power. Anyway, my understanding is that Europe is fairly conservative academically, and so maybe it would make sense that you would not have run into that, but there are like entire schools of history, of historians who are doing non-written things. I mean, technically, I am a historian as well, a music historian, where I do music. And once we hit the 1880s, I can just do recordings. You know, I can do recordings rather than sheet music. So, although I don't know how accurate it is to call me a historian of music. I mean, it's real complicated in their politics. I feel like I should count as a historian of music, but there are people who are music historians who would not count me as a music historian because they are super conservative, and they would think that what I do is outrageous and inappropriate. And that's all I'm saying. Yeah, there's a question. Let's see. Lizard says, but I'm still doing music, of course. Good. I released a short film I wrote and directed, and did sound for, recently, and we are in pre-production on a cyberpunk queer heist film. That sounds super awesome. By the way, I got an Elisa's keyboard so that I could actually go and do some composition, Lizard, because it's been a minute since I've been able to have time to compose. I have not unpacked the keyboard because I haven't had time to compose, but but I just got a chapter in. The chapter still needs work on it, but it's in. I'm going to present on it next week. City of Light and Shadow has started. I still have work to get I still have some work to do on City of Light and Shadow, of course, but now that it's up, it's now running. And then on the 20th, Fate of Cthulhu will start over at Weave the Tale. And once that gets set up, the session 0 for that, I'll be basically in maintenance mode, which means I can then, like, you know, maybe bust out that keyboard, unpack it, do a little bit of boop-a-doop-a-doo. That's what my music sounds like. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. It's not what my music sounds like, but I mean, you don't know. Let's see. But yes, contests can be rap battles. Who can carve the best sculpture, etc., or Socratic arguments of logic, or best sacrifice to Poseidon. You know, here's the thing. Always sacrifice to Poseidon, because Poseidon... Actually, here's the thing about Greek gods. They are very, very easily irritated. He was an expert in Middle Altar economics of Hansa. Oh, okay. The Middle Ages, the economics of the Hanseatic League. Mm-hmm. Red Rum Jiggler says, I'm randomly reminded of my history teacher in high school saying that if you fail her class, history will repeat itself literally. Okay, that's good. By the way, I'm going to just start the game because I believe we have some wandering to do, and we can talk while we wander, because I just feel like we're going to do a little bit of wandering as it is. Just, you know, just a little wandering. Hey, Rissa, I see you, but I haven't got up to my chat. Satanic cults have a lot of fresh blood in them, so they've got a lot of that going for them, which is nice. That's true. I think also vampires, as well as satanic cults. Also, vampire satanic cults. Yeah. Critter Pulsa, dying for your beliefs is martyrdom. Others dying for beliefs are sacrifices. Time of Gift says, of course historians sometimes legitimately don't understand that the past was different. An illustration in a Renaissance chronicle, Florentine, I think, had King Arthur dressed up like Lorenzo de' Medici, a contemporary dress, and riding a unicorn to boot. Time of Gifts, say more. Oh, I think we're in trouble. Yeah, right. We're going to just walk out. We're walking out. Sorry, we're walking out. Just walking out, walking right out. We're going to get in trouble if we are caught. So we're just leaving. Walking out. Just walking out, everybody. Walking out. And we're gone. No, that was the wrong button. And leaving. Okay. Sorry, I was just like, ooh, timer. We gotta just, whew. Okay, I'm back to chat. Whew. I was like, how many cultures didn't have a written language? I suppose there were quite a few, but they would have had other means. Like, I mean, I think ancient Greece for a while didn't have a written, like they worked it a lot in the oral tradition for a while. But I have feelings about this. I don't know what they are. They're vague. Non-written, if it's not on paper, vetted by other white men, how it could be considered true? Lizard's like, oh, nice. Yeah, it's a nice keyboard. And I got it because I wanted, one of the things is that I wanted trigger pads, because a lot of the stuff that I do is sort of like I do some sample-based stuff and like weird things. Sometimes I do weird things, and I wanted to be able to trigger the weird things, right? Because if I have a good number of pads, then I can trigger samples. I can trigger some like MIDI stuff that I might build in Maxim SP, because I was trained in electronic music composition, so, and not EDM. That's electronic dance music composition. I was trained in electronic music composition, and so I sometimes do weird things. I have some of my compositions on my computer, but I don't know if you want to hear them, because again, they're kind of weird. So, but I also do sort of like actual pop music kind of compositions, which are less weird. So, I mean, I don't only do weird electronic stuff, but sometimes I do weird electronic stuff, is what I'm trying to say. Origami Shuriken says, I need to try to record some more of my music now that I have a good mic. Oh, you should, because the Origami Shuriken has a video of her playing guitar and singing, and it's really good. So you should listen. Also, I don't know if you know this, because I didn't know this until I found out. You know that the Noir Enigma, who I'm playing in the South he's the GM for this Into the Southlands campaign that I'm playing in on Sundays, i.e. tomorrow. He has a TikTok, and I have just signed up for TikTok because I wanted to follow him. He plays the guitar and sings on his TikTok, and he's real good, everybody. And like, he didn't tell me. And then he's like, real good. I was like, what? Why didn't you tell me? Because it's very enjoyable. Art historian here, and that teacher was all the only pictures you can trust are the ones you manipulated, but I was a goner after one semester because old paintings are more fun than old books. Rissa now asks this thing that I have to ask. Did you see the Rocket Book has a downloader PDF for sheet music, which can be scanned using the app? No, I did not see that, and now I need to see it. Would you do me a favor? Would you put that in the bunker? Or no, put it in Media Musings. Would you put that in Media Musings so that I will not forget it, so I can see it? Ellie's parents. A lot of Mesoamerican cultures didn't have written language. That's right, and I know that they had other means to record things, but they didn't. Like I know in Peru, they used knot work to sort of record things. I mean, it's not going to be written like other people would think about it, but there was like, they used knot work, which I think is very cool. Greece's oral tradition made them cunning linguists. I see what you did there, PH. Trigger pads is good. I use them to switch articulations or note lengths if I'm in an... Oh. Speaking of notation software, I'm still using Sibelius, even though I know that all the Sibelius people like jumped ship for different notation software. What are you using? Like, I still use Sibelius because it's really good for publications, and I have to like do stuff for academic articles. I just want to know if you're using something different. Writing things down is such a useful technology, though. As soon as someone invents it, i.e. the Acadians, everybody's going to copy the idea. That's copying. Wait, gameplay. Look, Volpez. Like, my goal in life is to start gameplay before we hit 45 minutes. If I can hit a half hour, then the world has ended. But I mean, I do try. Yeah. That's looking at flies. I'm not trying to put. Well, Lizard. Then maybe I'll play something for it if you want to hear it. EWM. Yeah, EWM. Do you want to go listen to some EWM? Sure. Does it go like this? No, it kind of goes like that. Like, yeah. Don't worry about it. It's cool. Don't worry about it. I'm here for the weird. Play some. Well, maybe. Well, all right. Yeah, I missed banjo serenades on Saturday mornings. Well, I'm going to get back to them because I've got to get my fingers back. I have to get back to my banjo. I'm going to say, I've got to get back to them. It's just that I've been a little busy, but I feel like I'm going to move in July. That's all. Yes, thank you. Commander Pulsar knows what I'm talking about. Dorico. Yeah, Dorico are the people who left Sibelius, right? Like Sibelius people left and went to Dorico. Yes. It was all the Sibelius devs who got fired from Avid, and then Steinberg was like, we're hiring you to make notation software from the ground up. I created a weird electronic music patch on my modular that's all self-generative music and morphing over time. Lizard. That sounds amazing. Speaking of modulars, I have something I want to tell you. So, Trooper, are you saying that you're writing an ode to the fax machine? Maybe. The head of Dorico interviewed me, and I'm on their official blog. What? No bigs. Will somebody link Dorico in our Medium using so I do not forget it? Because I know I will forget it, and I don't want to forget it. Did I decide to move back to the dorm or find a new place? Ice Bunny, I have not decided, and it is giving me a little bit of low-key. I have to send an email or two. Is what I have to do. This is what I have to do. I have to have a conversation about it. My father-in-law gave me hubby's brother-in-law's old violin, and I plan on practicing. I haven't played in 7 years. After someone smashed your violin? Why would they do that? But also, yay for... what do you play on the violin? Like, what styles do you play? Do you play classical, jazz, bluegrass, Celtic? Like, tell me your violin experience. Modular synth. So this is the thing about modular synths. This is what I wanted to tell you. Almost sounds like the media channel will soon need a sub channel for media creation. Rissa or Jer, one of you, will you just put in the bunker that I need to create a new channel for creation? Because I don't think we have a creation channel, right? I don't think we have a creation channel, and now I feel like we need one. So I need to make a creation musings channel. So somebody put it in. Will you put it in the bunker so that I can see it and then make a new channel, because I feel like Vulpus is correct. Yep. Was it at a rock gig? Oh, maybe you were like, shh, yeah, rock and roll, and then just like smashing the violin. And was it an electric violin? Speaking of violin, Laurie Anderson, okay, look, creative minds are gonna create. We're gonna put it in there. We're gonna like, clearly that's a thing we need. Also, we need to think about emotes. So if you don't know Laurie Anderson, you should. Oh, dang it. I thought I was going to go and, you know when you think, you're like, I'm going to do this thing right now. Look, I've got to do this one thing first and get in trouble, but it'll be fine. Love Laugh Lindy, how are you? Love Laugh Lindy, I'm so excited to see you. Love Laugh Lindy is going to be on City of Light and Shadow next Friday, by the way. Let me see. Laurie Anderson, violin. Ooh. Be right. You just cheered, and you cheered with a message. And the message is, has there been enough distraction from the game yet? Is there any such thing? Hello, Jupiter in chat. I hope you are having a good Saturday. I'm having a great Saturday because we just had the opening of City of Light and Shadow last night. And I thought it was great. I got everything in that needed to happen. I was like, look, before we end this session, everybody needs to talk to everybody. Stuff clearly, because look, here's what happened. They all had things they wanted to do, and I knew it. Like, I knew they had things they wanted to do. I was like, they got to do all those things they need to do. They've got to do that. And I was like, I know that the name game has to happen, clearly. Also, We're in the Money has to happen. That was not City of Light and Shadow. Look, violin, tape, search. I am going to sing. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sing. That's Louis Anderson. That's Louis Anderson, PH. Oh my gosh. I'm going to sing first. Languages of Virus, Laurie Anderson. Yes, Languages of Virus, Laurie Anderson. I'm going to tell you about her, and then I'm going to sing, then tell you Laurie Anderson, talk about electronic music, and then we're going to play. That's what we're going to do. And so, Ice Bunny says, that would be nice. I just got GIMP and used most of today to draw a seashell thing. Oh, I use GIMP all the time for graphics for the shows and overlays and things like when I make my own overlays and do stuff, I use GIMP all the time. I've not drawn in GIMP. Yeah, I've not drawn in GIMP. I draw in something else. I draw in something else. A program. I draw in a program on my iPad. Also, there's another program that I use. It's called it was like Manga, but it has a different name now. It was like Manga Studio, but I think they renamed it. I think it's Manga Studio, like Clip Studio Art. I'm gonna just sing. Also, Lindy, I have to tell you something. I'm gonna just sing. I'm gonna sing We're in the Money, and I'm gonna sing it. By the way, tech problems last night were so weird. I'm gonna sing We're in the Money, and I'm gonna sing it in Pig Latin, and I'm gonna distract myself, which means I'm gonna sing it like Ginger Rogers from the film Gold Diggers of 1933. But I'm gonna hold this in my other hand so that I can snap. Airway and hey, the anime. Airway and hey, the anime. Airway and hey, the anime. I the ice skates are on say. Old man did he ask and pray, ooh, they stand way hungry. He would ever eat red lion say, red Brian say, day. And when we see the end, Lord will look left the eye, get right in the eye, where in the money, where in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. Thank you so much for those bits. By the way, people who are new here will not remember this, but it happened at 500 follows, I think it happened. I did a stream in Pig Latin. I did an entire stream in Pig Latin. It was a visual novel in Pig Latin, and that was super fun, and I miss it, and I want to do it again. I want to do another Pig Latin stream. Anyway, the name game. Come on, everybody. I said, now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name, I treat it like it wasn't there. And then a B or an F, or an M will appear. And then I say bo at a B, then I say the name, then banana, fan, or info. Then I say the name again with an F, very plain, then a fee, fi, and a mo. And then I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. Louis Anderson, Louis Anderson, Louis Anderson, Bo Booey Anderson, Banana Fana, Fooey Anderson, Fee, Fi, Momooey Anderson. Louis Anderson. I'm turning down my volume because I was peaking. I'm just letting you know. Anyway, what are y'all talking about over there in chat? Laurie Anderson is great. Ooh, Commander Pulsar. I saw her live on the Ugly One with Jules Sir. Commander Pulsar, why are you so cool? This is just what I want to know. I would like you to explain to me why you're so cool, because the answer is you're super cool, but I don't know why. Well, I mean, I know why, but how? How are you so cool? And when I figure out to flatten layers and convert to JPEG, I can show it. Oh, good, please do. If you want to flatten the layers, all you do is you right click on the layer. So like, put your mouse over the layer, right click, and there'll be a menu that shows up. Are people talking to me? And that menu, oh, I know, I need to do this. Boom, no, this, there we go. And then there'll be a little menu, and there's a choice called merge down. That's what you do. Hit merge down, it'll flatten it for you. There you go. Yeah, rock and roll, smash this violin. Dude, that was $30,000. Spur of the moment. You just destroyed an expensive instrument at the spur of the moment. Who hurt you? Missile Monkey, that happened on a film set. Louis is the best Anderson. It happened on a film set. There was some method actor dude who smashed this violin, but it was like worth because he was super in character, so he had like smashed the violin in real life. But it was like a very expensive violin. It was not. It was in like, yeah, dude. I got feelings about method acting. We'll talk about it later. A game that might be good could be The Longing, where you basically wait a literal year for your king to awaken. Imagine being able to progress the game while teaching for an entire year. Ooh. Huh. Commander Pulsar, Laurie Anderson isn't everyone's cup of tea. She's amazing. But much like going to a gaming conventions, if you go to a concert with her, you're going with a room full of like minds. Yes, but she's also pretty amazing. There was a new article that was my old advisor posted an article about Laurie Anderson that I need to read because she's pretty amazing. Red Rum Jiggler says, I learned bluegrass as a kid. My dad took me to his bluegrass dive bar all the time, and I moved into classical infusion. Ooh. I got my violin as a gift from a family friend after he couldn't afford a payment plan, and it was stolen during a college audition. A fire alarm went off and found a week later smashed in the parking lot. It was a purple wood and had a piece of pink duct tape on the back, saying it was mine. Red Rum Jiggler, that sounds terrible. Also, did somebody steal your violin and smash it because they were threatened by you because you're that good of a violinist? Because what I'm hearing is that you have training in bluegrass classical infusion, which kind of makes you super badass. I don't make the rules. And whoever did that is not nice, and I disapprove of them, and they should know that I disapprove, and they should feel guilty. I hope they do. Lizard Eats Fly says, I first heard Oh Superman when it came on a weird music station I listened to, and it came on at like 3 a.m. and I was half asleep in a weird liminal space, and it still haunts me. Oh Superman, for those of you who do not know Oh Superman is like 10 minutes. Okay, look, I have to tell you something. I should make a tweet thread about it, but I have to tell you this thing. It's really important. Not important. It's important to me. In the 80s, there was this moment when performance artists started charting in the top 40. And when I say performance artists, I mean like Laurie Anderson, a bunch of people. And if they didn't chart in the top 40, they were like super, like they were big in like alternative spaces. And these are like weird performance artists. Like Laurie Anderson's Oh Superman, which is like 10 minutes long maybe. And it starts with a sample of her going, ha, 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 ha. And like, then her like voice is super like weirdly modulated and she's doing this weird stuff. And it's just like, it's amazing. It's amazing, but it's not a thing that tends to get in the top 40, if you know what I mean, where like 3.5 minutes is your tops for the most part. And this is like 10 minutes of weirdness. There it was in the top 40. And Demon de Galas, who's super weird performance artist. There's a lot of screaming with her. It's like 20 minutes of screaming, often in French or who knows what, sometimes covering herself in blood. But she was like playing at goth clubs. She covers herself in blood and like screams. She's pretty amazing. But again, maybe not pleasant to listen to. You could be into that sort of thing. Yeah. And what's their faces? They do all the noise stuff. Sonic Youth was doing well. Crotus Quartet was doing well, like was doing collabs with like, Elvis. Like there was this weird moment in the 1980s where like avant-garde performance art and like avant-garde music was like charting and was like kind of weirdly popular. I just think that's super cool, but it was not a thing that you would expect, is all I'm saying. Manga Studio was renamed Clip Studio Paint. Thank you, Bunnyco. That's the one of the programs I use. Volpez, Laurie Anderson's amazing. I'm just gonna tell you something. Opera singer. You will never know. It's true. The squirrel is strong with this one. Lindy knows. You're the boss of YouTrooper. You can do a Piglet stream whenever you'd like. Oh. Guess what the new 15... Oh. What will you stream? Pig Latin Atlanta Nights? See, the thing is, if I'm going to stream a Pig Latin, it has to be a visual novel that has subtitles so that everyone who doesn't understand Pig Latin can know what I'm saying. I don't know. I think Twitch has a Pig Latin quota, and he pushes it for everyone else. Maybe. Time of Gift says, Laurie Anderson was just the guest composer in residence at the National Concert Hall in Dublin. Really? Ooh. My source is Bernard Clark, who presents the Blues of the Night on RTA Lyric. Ooh. Maybe you can read the script from Who Shot JR. Think about that. So the man that described himself as a method actor. Yeah. Yes. So being a method actor or peer is not the same thing as being a method actor. They just call it that, but it's not the same. It's not the same at all. Yeah, it's not the same at all. Method acting. Now, please note, because I'm an American and I was trained in theater, I was basically trained in method because they basically train everybody method nowadays. Usually, not like usually a watered down version of method, to be honest. It's like not full on method. Although, to be honest, most Americans were never treated in full on, like, so basically Lee Strasberg. Ooh, I'm getting distracted. So Stanislavski wrote these 2 big volumes in Russian about the method of acting. One was sort of internal, one was external. And the internal one was translated into English, but the external one wasn't for a really, really long time. Lee Strasberg took that Stanislavski, that one first method, and he basically recreated it kind of through his own lens. And then he starts teaching that at the Actors Studio, and a bunch of really big name people sort of start doing it. There's another thing going on. It's about machismo, toxic masculinity. Anyway, so the method becomes really, really big, but it's this like Strasberg version of like half of Stanislavski. And it becomes really big with Brando, with this basically new Hollywood dudes. Pacino, De Niro, Brando. One of the only people who was like not super macho who sort of does the method would have been James Dean. But they're like, and then of course all these method actors who are running around, but they're mostly men. There are women who are taught in the method, of course, but they don't tend to get all the. I think Shirley, Shelley Winters, but they don't tend to get a lot of cred. And most of the time, when people are doing method, I'm gonna get caught up in chat, but I have a thought. Don't let me forget. I want to talk to you about Christian Bale and Leonardo DiCaprio. Was it a Stradivarius? Asks Krellin. The answer is no, it was not, but it was something also expensive. Not cut. It does make you super badass. Yeah. Red Rum Jiggler, super badass. I remember now, but did not type fast enough. Yes, be right. Lizard Flies. Definitely give those Superman a listen. Yes, definitely give it a listen. It's amazing. It's really interesting. You may hate it, but it's definitely worth a listen at least once. Be Right asks whether or not Bjork is one of these people that I'm thinking about, like sort of performance artists that sort of hit popular. And I would say yes. Okay. This is tricky because Bjork is not from the tradition of performance art, I don't think. And I don't think people think of her as a performance artist, but I actually think that she is, I think that I would basically agree with you, Be Right. I think that she's an avant-garde artist who is framed as a pop artist, but I think she's pretty avant-garde. Dimanda Galas played with Christian Death Row. Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's interesting. Red Rum says, other instruments were stolen also, but I was super bummed. Oh, that's messed up. It was my first putting myself out there audition too, so it hit my confidence hard. Oh no. But I'm excited to start over and possibly teach my daughter who needs to pick up an instrument for 6th grade. And maybe you could go to it, like find a COVID. Maybe at some point in time you could find a bluegrass jam and like start playing bluegrass again, because bluegrass jams are awesome. Spalding Gray and Swain. Didn't Yoko Ono make some? Oh yeah, Yoko Ono is an avant-garde performance artist. She's actually a really important performance artist. She is a very influential and really, really important performance artist for music as well. And it's one of the reasons why John Lennon was attracted to her, because she was like so avant-garde, and she's got some really, really cool pieces. Some of Yoko Ono's stuff is so interesting. Like she was doing stuff in the early 60s that was just like, wow. I mean, she has this piece which is so intense. It's one of her famous pieces called Cut Piece, and it's she did this early in the 60s, and it's her, and she sits in a black dress in the middle of an art gallery. She did this very early, and there are a pair of scissors next to her, and the instructions for the people coming to the gallery is that they should cut off a piece of her dress, and it's kind of like danger art. And so people would come up and they'd be like, oh, I don't know. And they would come in there, like cut this little snippet of her dress off. And then, like, as the piece goes on, the people, and these are not actors, these are people who just go to the gallery, just kind of get more emboldened, and it gets a little bit more creepy and violent. And like if you've ever seen, I don't think the whole piece has been recorded. It might, I've seen excerpts of Cut Piece, but it gets really creepy. It gets really creepy. And this is, I think this actually predates Alan Capro, who's like a really, really big, this is called Fluxus. So there's a group of artists called Fluxus in the 50s, 60s, and they might remind you of Dada from the 20s. But a number of Fluxus artists were really interested in kind of exposing the creepiness in underneath like our 1950s stage society. And so they did a number of pieces that interacted with audiences whose point was sort of to expose that the audience, who are all these like, I'm going to the gallery, are actually kind of creepy. And so that piece really did it, and was like, ooh, very disturbing by the end, because the scissors were very sharp and people got kind of like weirdly violent. It was very effective in doing what it wanted to do. And Alan Capro did a piece, I think later, where he had 2 cars, like one a pink car, one a blue car, something like this. And they had a bunch of sledgehammers. And then the piece was that the people who went to the gallery, these fine arts goers, were supposed to hit the car with a sledgehammer. And at first they're like, oh, I don't know if I could do this. I'm just so proper. And then like by the end, they're just like going mad and like outrageous violence on these cars. And people are like, right. So anyway, there's a lot of really interesting art from this time period that, you know. I need to watch Swing Camp video again. Yeah, me too. Marge Simpson shot JR. I heard that. There are people who don't understand pig Latin. Poor unfortunate souls. Mr. Monkey, it's true. And there we go. Game has been lost to an SJP lecture. No, I'm going to start again. You can take the professor out of the class, but you can't take the class of the professor. I'm going to start. I just wanted to play a piece of Laurie Anderson. The Who Shot J.R. Dallas arc in pig Latin, and then Falcon's Crest in some other non-quite English as expected. Oppish, probably. To reflect the divergence of the spinoff? Yeah, oppish, probably. Scabby Neck. Official reminder when you get caught up to chat. Christian Bale, thank you. Christian Bale, Leonardo DiCaprio. I always thought Daniel Day-Lewis was the ultimate myth. Oh, he's very much associated with that 100%. Yes. I think Bjork is a performance artist who works in a pop music context. Yes, I agree. I also feel like I should love her, but I just can't get into her stuff. It depends on the stuff. Some of her stuff I actually like. Depends. Also, remember, you left the game to do something with Laurie Anderson. Yes. Yes. Chad is observing the Strasbourg Starstuffy squirrel, quite possibly a new species, maybe. There in media is the full home of the Brave show. Oh, thank you, Vulpus. That is so good. My dad's favorite bluegrass dive bar is still around. They are opening back up in a few months. I'm thinking of going and seeing if anyone I knew as a kid are still there and maybe do a jam session like old times. Yes, do it. Do it. Do it. Did Yoko get hurt? She did not get hurt. I think she got like a scratch, I think. She didn't get hurt, but it was very dicey there for a bit. And she like really put herself out there, right, for this sort of piece of art. It was pretty intense. Who was the one who did a similar thing, but all sorts of things like feathers and knives and a loaded gun? Yes, that was Miriam Abramovich, I think it was. Later, she did it after Yoko. I think it was Miriam Abramovich, is who I think it was, who has done a lot of really intense performance art. She just stood there and let people do whatever they want. Yeah. I believe it was Miriam Abramovich. I think it was Miriam Abramovich. I saw a retrospective exhibition at Louisiana Museum of Modern Art in 2013 with my parents. Oh. Yes. So, okay, let me see if I think this is the one. I think this is it that I wanted to show you. I think if this is the one. Wait. I don't want you to see it yet. Let me get to OBS. And then once I do this, then I'm going to mute. I show you so I can just see if this is the one. Because if it is, I want it. Okay, this is the one, but unfortunately, it does not look like there's video, but I want you to see video because the video is actually really important to sort of appreciate the amazingness of what she's doing. Did you know that Laurie Anderson and I both went to the same undergraduate? Did you know that? We did. And also, Lindy, I have things I want to share with you. No, that's not the one I want. I might just have to describe it instead if I can't get it. And that'll make me a little bit sad because it's pretty. Is this it? Is this it? I'm just checking because if you can see it. I have seen video footage. I just don't know if it's online anywhere. And it may not be online. And if that is the case, if it is not online, I'm going to be sad and I'll just have to describe it for you instead, which, is fine, but it's not going to have the impact, which, yeah. I'm going to do one last search because I would like to just tell you because it's so cool. What if I search for this? If I search for this, it might do it. It might do it. Insert a marker. Oh, wait. Can I get it? I might be able to get it now, and then I can show you, and then you will have a whole life, and then our whole world will be different and changed. Nope, it's not available. I'll just find it later. So here's what it is. What Laurie Anderson did. I love the piece she wrote about Lou Reed after his death. Yeah, oh yeah, they were a wonderful couple. Daniel Day-Lewis has gotten lost in his own parts, not emerging for months. That's beyond method acting. He's amazing, but I worry about his actual personality. But see, this is the problem. This is what people think method acting is. And I have some comments about that. I have comments about it. So what Laurie Anderson, I'm just have to tell you what she did. What Laurie Anderson would do. I know what I'm going to do right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start the game and then I'm going to play a piece of my music at the end. That's what I'm going to do. Full on. And then we're here, and then we resume. what she would do, is, yeah, so I have thoughts and feelings about, hi, hello, Corporate Sentinel, how are you? I'm going to just take these because I don't think anyone wants them. So you know how a violin, right? There's a violin. If you know a violin, it's got this body, right? And then it's got a neck, right? And so it's like a violin body. At the end of the violin, there's a tailpiece, and the tailpiece holds the strings. The strings go up over a bridge, right? They come up over a bridge, this little sort of wooden bridge, and then the strings then continue on over the neck to the scroll peg at the end, and you tighten it up, right? The violin body. And then the bow is like the bow, and then it's like a wood with horsehair, right? These horsehair strings that you rosin up, and then you played violin in like elementary school. So what she did, which I have to tell you because it's amazing, is she replaced the bridge, or she sort of modified the bridge to be a pickup, electronic pickup, and then she took out the horsehair of her violin bow and she replaced it with magnetic tape, like a 8-track, like a full or 24-track tape, and she recorded onto that tape sounds like voices, like phrases, and so then basically it was a sample, right? And then when she would play the violin, it would play the sample that was on the tape, because she had like basically a tape head on the violin, and then she had the tape in the bow. So then she could go like, ha, 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 hello, hello, ha, 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 hello. So she's using the violin and like magnetic tape to play samples. Wow. Like, and she developed, like, she did that. Like, she was like, I mean, it's so amazing. It's so amazing. The game sound is now back up. Yeah, so like that was just this like amazing thing. It was amazing. Spoiler: Jared Leto isn't a meth actor. He's just a jerk. Those two things are not disconnected, Krellin. Those two things are not disconnected. Is all I'm gonna say. Ice Bunny says Maria Abramovich did one performance where she and a dude whose name I forgot stood naked in the doorway of a gallery, and visitors had to squeeze past them to see the art. Lefflam says, Daniel Day-Lewis was so method. When he was playing Lincoln, he would sneak into the Lincoln bedroom at the White House every night. No one was quite sure how he got in there. Lizard Flies, Tape Bow is amazing. Amazing. Yeah, it was amazing. Is this related to it? Ooh, let me see. Yeah, Miss Monkey, it's like 30th century stuff, right? And she was, because it was a bow, right? Because it was a bow and not, like if you do like samples normally like on a trigger pad, like you just trigger the sample and it goes. But because it was a bow, she could speed it up or slow it down just based on how fast she was playing with the bow itself. And I mean, so creative, so interesting. And of course, she also did, smoke rings. Wait, we just got B-Right putting smoke rings on the thing. And do we have her with smoke rings? She does a lot of voice manipulation, which is pretty amazing. And oh. I actually just think that's manipulated sound. Anyway, I will find it at some point in time. It's pretty amazing. And I kind of freak it out. I just want you all to see it. I'll show you. Hey, Schmelza, how are you? You know, Liz, first off, you are an amazing artist. That's just one point that I just need to point out to you, that you are. Also, I feel like we should look at our map, and that's not it, and just find out where we are, and also where Ellie's parents are. So we are here. I think have been through, I think we came in here, we traveled through here. I think we then walked down this way. And then we walked through this, we walked through a river. We came up over here and walked up here. So we have not explored these areas. I do not think, nor these areas, nor this area. And this is a big deal. So I feel like we should distract ourselves by talking to Ellie's parents. And I was correct. We should have done that. So this is perfect. We're going to just walk this way and then also talk this way. and then see Ellie's parents. This is just how that's going to go. Yeah, Home of the Brave is so good. It's so good. I'm going to play for you we'll play for you a piece of my music at the end of the stream. Leonardo DiCaprio. Yes. All right. I'm going to tell you my feelings on this. And these are complicated feelings that you can, I'm going to just steal this, that you can have thoughts about, but I'm just sharing you my thoughts about this method acting. Yeah, I was taught method acting light, and that's a little bit different, but, hello people, how are you?
Those wastrels in Emerald Vale have all abandoned their work. Did you know? How typical.
We're gonna turn up the volume. Turn up the volume, turn up the bass. So this is what I wanted to tell you. There have been many different acting styles that have been popular over the years.
Sure, they look fancy, but inside they're just marble and existential emptiness.
Ellie,
Sit idly by.
And what would you have me do exactly?
what are they talking about?
Oh, there. That's one right there.
What?
Can't you just see the stench of impropriety radiating off of him?
Me?
For the last time, access to Byzantium is impossible without a proper nav key. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to be
Why is she
somewhere else.
Why is she being rude? Why are you being rude?
How splendid.
Why are you being
Another
rude?
rung leech wandering through the streets of Byzantium. Why, just this morning I thought to myself, as lovely as the gardens are, what they really need is more greasy vagrants frolicking through them. And here you are, frolicking.
What the heck? I'm not even frolicking, I'm sneaking. Or loping, perhaps. I mean, acting styles. She seems super nice. Yeah. Frolicking? Guys, do I frolic? I don't think I do.
I don't reckon so.
Yeah.
Maybe she's talking about me? I mean, I'm definitely the greasy one.
Well, whatever you call it, do it elsewhere, and take your merry band with you. Honestly, what is the board thinking letting so many of your ilk into the city proper? It's madness.
Your ilk? What is that? Who are you? Who are you? If the board isn't supposed to let people into the city, how'd you get here? A little snarkiness, right? Yeah, a little snarkiness.
I earned my place here, just like everyone else. My grandfather was the CIO at Tile, you see.
That doesn't sound like you earned it. It sounds like you inherited it. This lady looks like Anya Charlotra from The Witcher a bit. I'm gonna just go with the direct. I think it's life day for her real soon. She earned her way here, the old-fashioned way, nepotism. Yeah, wait. But what did you do to earn your place here, though?
I just told you. My grandfather made millions of bits as CIO, and I earned them from him.
Nope. Inheriting bits isn't the same as earning them.
Of course it is.
No?
Wealth is the most visible, objective measure of success.
But-
and success isn't given to you, it's earned.
No,
My grandfather taught me that.
right, but
If you have wealth, you're successful, and if you're successful, you must have earned it.
nope.
Honestly, it's a simple concept.
No, that's not. Okay, fine. What is a CIO?
Chief Idea Officer. He came up with all the best ideas for their products. You know the font they use for Stogie Slims? That was him.
Cool.
Well, he described the idea of it to their font development team, then picked it from a list of choices, but that's basically the same
No,
thing.
it is not the same thing.
It was a very long list.
Yeah, okay, so your grandfather also didn't do much. Good, great, got it. Mm-hmm. What other ideas did he come up with?
Let's see. He picked the colors they included in rainbow chips. No one else wanted purple, but he insisted. Everyone loves the purple ones.
I don't think that's true.
And you know how the Cosmic Smokes logo has an eye in the middle of a heptagon?
Yeah,
He said that one came to him in a dream.
weird.
He was a true visionary.
Yeah.
So far ahead of his time.
I feel like the grandfather probably was trying to summon Great Cthulhu, but that's just my thought. He did his best work while sitting on the can. It's true. Nothing she has said in the last 2 minutes is even remotely true. I know, it's all untrue. Scabinac says, I feel like the grandpa who taught her that inheriting wealth is earning it, he would have taken far more credit. A dream after eating too many purple chips. Ice Bunny says, some contemporary artists do some creepy stuff. Yeah. One of my teachers is an expert in bio art, and he told us about a performance installation where the artist created a lab in the gallery, and they created worry dolls out of human skin cells that grew to do the exhibition. And at the end of the exhibition, the dolls were taken out of the safe environment and got touched, and it was enough to kill them. Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of art is meant to disturb you.
You're welcome. Now, do we have any further business, or are you just here for the repartee?
Yeah. What's wrong with more people coming to Byzantium?
What's wrong?
Yeah.
It erodes the very pillars of our society. Merit,
Really?
decorum,
Really?
personal hygiene. This city is meant for us, the system's finest. We earned its luxuries. But now we are overrun with the unworthy and the ungrateful, and this early retirement nonsense is making it even worse.
So I don't mean to be shady here, but for a person who's going on and on about personal hygiene, have you looked at your hair? It needs some conditioning. Like, it gets frizzy. I'm just saying. Like, I'm just saying. Just saying. Condition. Deep conditioning. Commander Pulsal says, one of the things that amuses me about this game is the inspiration it seems to take from the Hudsucker proxy. Yes, I agree. Red Rum says, did she also inherit his makeup skills? Girl has some major Blood Mask vibes. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, Red Rum. A little surprised Ellie has, me too. I thought that she would totally say something. Her grandfather was the Coleridge of industrial designers. Winter Soldier with red. Is she wearing too much eye makeup? Is there something wrong with her? It's unclear to me, really. Yeah. Also, by the way, what's early retirement? I'm going to talk smack later.
The worst thing to happen to Halcyon.
What is it?
A contest that gives even the lowliest to most inefficient workers a chance to live in Byzantium. By simply winning a lottery, those early retirees get an exclusive district of Byzantium to themselves. No one else is even allowed to go there.
Okay, yeah. So what I'm
Tell
trying
me,
to...
how is that fair?
Yeah, I'm imagining they're murdering them or turning them into Soylent Green. I just do not think that the lucky ones who win the... I feel like they win the lottery in the Shirley Jackson kind of a way, where you win the lottery and they murder you. This is just what I'm saying. I just... So... Yeah, I mean, right? Yes. Borscht versus people. Yeah. Yeah. She learned to put on eye makeup from Prison Blade Runner. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Intelligence. Well, most contests have some inherent biases, so technically...
Oh, by the law. I mean the principle of it, not the mechanics. It's not right. I deserve to see any district I please. Why, if it weren't guarded, I'd... You know, you look like you've been shot at before. What say I hire you to investigate this travesty, and you get paid to do so?
Point one.
She's got a point. We're probably gonna get shot at anyway. Might as well make a few bits.
Yes. Listen to your...
Say it.
What is that person's job exactly?
Murderer?
Are they your secretary?
No.
Personal masseuse?
No.
Or do you just keep them around as a mobile armrest?
No. Who are you?
Well, it doesn't matter. What's important is that you think this is a fabulous arrangement, and you'd be thrilled to lend me your services. Aren't you?
Yeah, okay, so, Byzantium is like a dream. Yes, Shirley Jackson's lottery, that's the one. Massive island vibes winners, yeah, right. Yes, it's not good. Ice Bunny says, but it is then interesting that the general public still has the concept of the artist's genius and the content definition of beautifully in mind, even when they have never looked into what Kant said about it. Well, yeah, the thing is, a lot of romantic art was also disturbing. Like, it was meant, like, the awesome was supposed to meant to sort of, like, give you existential crises. So, and the thing is, a lot of the performance artists are still into the idea of the genius. It's not like they've let that go. It's just that what it is they're supposed to do, it's just changed a little bit. Or even not, really. I mean, post-World War I, it's a lot of disturbing art. Even before, I mean, like, there's just, like, a lot of disturbing art, which is, you know, part of the point. I can see why Ellie decided to do frontier medicine. Me too, Scabby Neck. And by the way, I'm gonna just be like, why would I ever help you with something so selfish? Like, what's up with you?
Did you miss the part where I said I'd pay you? That's all the reason someone like you should require.
Oh, someone like me? Someone like me? Are you talking to me? De Niro. Well, it's not. Give me something better.
Better than money?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah?
There's... No. The thrill of discovery. Like in an Aetherwave adventure. People love those, right? Don't you want to see what the retirement district is like?
Yeah, you know, doing it for the money would just make me selfish too. No thanks.
I don't see how, but very well. Frolic along then. You're blocking my view.
By the way, I don't know if that means that I don't have the quest, but I'm totally gonna do the quest. I'm just not doing it for her. Can I still do the quest? Is that a thing? Or am I not allowed to? Because I want to do the quest. I just don't want to do it for her. Do you know what I mean? Is that possible? Is that doable? Can I do that? Krellin says that I don't have the quest and I can't do it. Because look, here's the thing. I really want to know what's going on in the retirement district because I feel like they're murdering people, and if they are, I need to go and expose it. I just don't...
Can't leave me alone, hmm? Not that I blame you. I'm widely adored.
You're not.
Now, do we have any further business, or are you just here for the repartee?
I imagine it's sketchy, and if I can stop it, I will. Can we talk about her lack of lady skills, widespread mansplaining, and she just had a finger in her ear? Yeah, what's up with her? I was too proud to take the quest. Okay, I've decided to look in this
Fantastic.
thing.
Consider yourself employed, vagrant.
Yeah.
I hear the chosen retirees all enter the retirement district via the port landing pad, but it's completely locked down. You'd never get in that way.
Okay.
Unless, of course, you had a wealthy, beautiful benefactor of impeccable social pedigree, which you do. How fortunate for you. These codes will get you past the lockdown. Oh, and don't worry about subtlety. I don't care how you deal with security, just correct this injustice at all costs.
I feel like this is not going to end how you think it is, but also, how did you get those access codes?
The same way anyone gets anything here, of course. I made friends with the right people. Bits might earn you a place in Byzantium, but that means everyone here has little need for more of them. For favors like this, you need to spend... let's call it social capital.
I feel like this is eye makeup. Also, Volpa says that wasn't mansplaining, it was wealth-splaining. Yeah, It reminds me of one of my students. Mansplaining Volpes, she's sitting like a man, but she might also be sitting like a wealthy person. But she's like...
Name game.
Krellin, now the song Any Man of Mine by Shania Twain is in my head, and I don't know why, but it is. Now I just have got also Wizard Styles. Wizard Styles, I need to tell you something. I feel like your style is very wizardly. I think that you wear robes and also pointy hats. And I also think that your robes have stars and moons on them, and that's your style. It's Wizard Styles. That's what I think. Also, the name game. Come on, everybody. I said, now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name. I treat it like it wasn't there. And then a B or an F. Or an M will appear. And then I say bow at a B, then I say the name, then banana, fanner, and foe. Then I say the name again with an F very plain, then a fee, fi, and a mo. And then I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. Wizard Styles, but Wizard Styles, banana, fanner, foe, Wizard Styles, fee, fi, mo, Wizard Styles. Wizard Styles. Thank you so much for that resub, Wizard Styles. This is your 7th month here, which means in 2 months you're gonna have an internet baby, a Twitch baby. I don't make the rules. It's just how it is. You know what? I'm gonna leave her because it bothers me that I have to. Well, whatever. She gave me access codes. I still feel like she's super sketchy, and I disapprove. I disapprove of her highly sketchy nature. I just want you to know it. That's all. Wealthy benefactor, pristine naked. Where are we gonna find one of those? Thank you. Well then, name get is Shania Twain. Shania, Bobanaya, Banana, Fana, Fofanaya, Fee, Fa, Momanaya. Shania. You know what? How did you know? Wizard Styles, I could intuit it. Rose. You know, I like Shania Twain. Shania Twain's good. She's good. Also, I know I'm supposed to go over that way, but there's like an animal here.
Did you hear? Marjorie Dalton and Archibald Harris are redecorating with real crystal faux windows.
I think I can talk to this.
Pause. Don't they know those went out of style 3 weeks ago?
Or can I? I can.
Their marriage, apparently. I'd wager my inverted bathtub she backs out of the contract first.
Okay, I just want to talk to your, like, pet friend. No, that's killing. I don't want to kill the pet friend. I just want to talk to the pet friend. Nope. No, let me talk to you. No, that's a gun. Okay, so here's the thing, right? As I'm trying to talk to this thing. Nope, that's a gun. I do not want to shoot the thing. I want to talk to the
plated with real platinum.
Talk. No,
Winifred
that's a
and
gun.
Dora had theirs done already.
I don't want to shoot it. Talk.
That's
Okay.
exactly what makes them more exclusive.
Oh. Didn't tell me anything. I feel robbed. Remember, you're doing this for your cross curiosity. She just happens to be paying you. I suppose that's true. I wish I had an inverted bathtub. So, acting styles. I have a lot of feels about this. And,
with real crystal
there are a
faux
number of...
windows.
Is this one dead?
Laws.
No?
Don't they know those went out of style 3 weeks
It's not
ago?
dead, it's okay. We're fine, it's not dead. So there have been a wide variety of acting styles over the centuries. And we happen to be in a moment where there's really, there's basically one acting style we consider good, and that's basically method. But there have been other acting styles. And I'm not saying the other ones aren't also sketchy, but method is super sketchy. Although, actually, some of the kind of Shakespearean stuff is
There's
actually
my parents'
also
place.
pretty sketchy.
Smell that? Industrial grade cleaning solvent in desperation.
Okay, we're gonna go. This person has a top hat on. We're gonna go see your parents. See how it goes. Who knows what's up with inverted bathtubs? Do you have to sit in them upside down? I don't. Wet floors. So, this is what it is. There's this story. I'm going to tell you two stories. And they're both involving Laurence Olivier, who's not method. He's actually from this sort of British Shakespeare style, which was also a new style that overtook the old sort of 18th century style. So there was oh. Well, her place is nice. A lot of marble, which I imagine is quite cold. And if you fall, you'll hit your head, and that would be bad. It doesn't feel particularly warm. That is an amazing sculpture. I step away for 5 minutes, and now I'm psychotic. No, psychic. That's different. It's psychic. So, okay, I'll pick up some high society cigarettes. I mean, who doesn't want to take rich people's stuff while I'm here? Anyway, so there have been a variety of acting styles over the centuries. Physical theater that you would get in Commedia dell'arte. I'm just going to take that. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to have it. There's a bunch of different stuff. And in the 19th century, there was a transition from one of the more dominant acting styles to a new acting style. And this sort of coincides with the rise of middle-class culture, because with the Industrial Revolution, we start getting middle-class people in larger numbers, and middle-class people didn't really have a culture of their own because they didn't really exist in large enough numbers to have their own culture. And so what they ended up doing was co-opting the culture of working-class people, is what they did. That's just, they appropriated. There was a bunch of appropriation that happened. We're going to go through this door. And I love the fact that Ellie has no problem with you taking things from... Oh, yeah, no, she's totally into it. That's why she brought me here. She brought me here because she wanted me to steal things from her parents and then make them look bad. Scandalize them.
Is that you?
Laws, we certainly didn't expect to see you like this.
And I didn't expect you to renew your marriage contract. But we're all full of surprises today, aren't we?
Ooh, this is gonna be awkward, isn't it?
Speaking of surprises, you should meet my new friend. We've been running around the system for a while now, stirring up all sorts of trouble.
Do you know that song? Do you know that song? Common People by Pulp. Do you know it? Do you know that song? Common People lyrics. Do you know it? Do you know it? It's right? She came from Greece, she had a thirst for knowledge. She studied sculpture at St. Martin's College, that's where I caught her eye. She told me that her dad was loaded. I said, in that case, I'll have a rum and Coca-Cola. She said, fine. And then in 30 seconds time, she said, I wanna live like common people. I wanna do whatever common people do. I wanna sleep with common people. I wanna sleep with common people like you. Oh, what else could I do? Said, I'll see what we can do, right? And then I took her to a supermarket. I don't know why, but it had to start it somewhere. So it started there. I said, pretend you've got no money. And she just laughed and she said, you're so funny. I said, yeah, well, I don't see anyone else here laughing. Are you sure? You want to live like common people? You want to do whatever common people do? You know the song? It's a good song. It sounds like it's much older than it is, but in the sense that like the aesthetic is older, but it's not. Anyway, kind of reminds me a little bit of Ellie. I feel like she wants to live like common people to upset her parents is what I... Thank you, Commander Pulsar, yes. Ooh, cover with Shatner. Yeah, no, see, Scabinak, here's the thing. Ellie is not cool about this. She wants to go and upset her parents, right? That's just what she wants to do. So King Louis song from Jungle Book. No, I think it's the opposite, because when King Louis sings it, he's singing he wants to be elevated, right? Because man-childs, right, have higher social status. So for him, he's trying to sort of go up in social status, whereas the person in the song is trying to go down in social status. In the future, you can't piss off the parents bringing someone another race or the same gender home. Now bring a poor person home. Except that I don't think I'm poor. I mean, maybe. Shatter and Pinfall. Ooh. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna be nice. It's a pleasure to meet you.
I don't know what to say. He's usually not like this.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, you're supposed to help me make an impression. Anyway, you're probably wondering where I've been all this time.
Not exactly.
Oh!
The last few years have been a bloody haze.
Wow.
You wouldn't believe the messes we've gotten ourselves into.
It's true, I'm poor.
Right?
I have mixed feelings. Yeah, it's true. New money's the same thing as poor. That is true. That is true. Yeah, back in the day, if you worked at all, you were not considered, proper, which included like doctors and lawyers because they worked. If you had to work, yeah. So let's see, Ellie, you made your point. Can we just get this over with? Indeed, we've saved towns and restored property across Halcyon. I'm not going to say that. Theft, vandalism, profanity, you we've done it at least twice. Well, that's actually probably true. Actually, that's true. We actually have done that. So I'm just gonna say it. It's true.
Yep, we're a pair of disgraceful lowlifes.
I don't think of myself as a lowlife, but...
Marilyn, this really isn't the best time. Perhaps you should go.
Oh, that sounds suspicious. You know what? I'm gonna just listen quietly. Just listen quietly.
We'll stay as long as we like. And while we're at it, we'll drink your expensive hooch, wear our outside shoes all over your nice floors.
I apparently don't have enough perception to note that this is top quality marble, which, by the way, I noticed out of character, but in character I didn't notice it. I'm gonna say, wait. What is it?
It's the floors.
What?
You had the floors redone with real Terran marble? Since when can you afford that?
Oh,
that's what we've been trying to tell you, dear, but you must understand. We hadn't heard from you in ages.
Uh-oh.
We thought you were dead.
Uh-oh. Oh, ooh, I don't like where this is going, my friends. Now I made a deal with you, man cub. Oh yeah, just call me what you do. Give me the, oh yeah. Sounds like it's gonna go bad. So,
I'm not dead. I just never wanted to talk to you again.
yeah, life insurance?
I'm afraid the distinction was lost on us, darling.
Right. Why do I get the feeling you people are about to apologize for something?
We only did what any grieving parents in our position would do.
Ooh.
We collected on your life
Yeah,
insurance
yep,
policy.
Yep.
And
Yep.
the payouts have been rather substantial.
So you want her to get lost again?
You what?
Yep. Yep. That's yep. Yep. I told you about my dream in middle school, right? With Jane Seymour and Timothy Dalton. I told you about that dream I had, right? I'm sure I did. But I'm sure you're much happier now knowing Ellie is alive and well, right? I'm gonna provoke a little bit.
Of course. And we shall always harbor that joyful secret deep within our hearts.
Yeah.
And you'll report it to the insurance company, right?
No.
It's not that simple. For one thing, we'd have to cut back on so many necessities. The neighbors would be sure to notice.
Bulbous, I can't talk about those dreams on Twitch. TOS. It did involve insurance fraud, if that helps. It did. But you must understand, we got marble floors, darling. Yes. New floors in exchange for your daughter so they can keep walking all of her. Ooh. I like red rum. It's like, nah, you want us to get lost? You give us some of that money. I appreciate your logic. Let's go, Ellie. We've got better things to do. Hang around these two. No, I don't think so. I'm gonna just listen quietly.
Why did you do that?
We had to explain your disappearance somehow.
We couldn't very well tell people you'd run off to become a miscreant, could we?
Why not?
The neighbors would talk, and not in a good way.
We concocted a story about Celeste Jollycurl designing a pair of 12-inch heels for you.
One of a kind, naturally.
That led to your tragic death when you tripped and broke your neck.
Wow.
It was quite the story. People were talking about it for weeks.
Wow. I'm gonna listen quietly. That's what I'm gonna do.
Couldn't you have at least made up a better
Yeah.
story? Something with pirates or raptidons?
How old are you, Ellie? Are you 27?
What are you gonna do now that we're here?
Yes, about that. We were just about to ask you to, leave.
Were you Thurston Howell III?
Quietly, if you don't mind.
Wow. I think you can see why I was so excited about this conversation. Yeah, they're terrible. I'm just saying it. My job can be not telling anyone these things that I know. I can do this job from home. Fight Club. They're not gonna kill her because I have a gun and I shoot people a lot. I don't mean to, but I sometimes do. You know. Fuck, you're... hey, I'm well older than Ellie. If I die, I want the story to involve pirates and raptors. No. I'm just trying to figure out how old she is, because, like, I'm trying to figure out if she's like mid-20s. So she's a doctor, so she's gone to med school, which means she should probably be at least, what's 4 years undergraduate? I don't know what their school system is like. Let's say 4 years undergraduate, 3 years med school, and then like 3 years for like residency and whatnot. So that's like 10, which would put her at 28. So maybe she's like late 20s? Yeah, they're gonna try to kill her, yes. Nah, I'm here, I'm alive, my parents are jerks. Bangs, pots, and pans. Be honest, other than Pirati, is anyone in this else game not that terrible? Well. Plus fellows, yeah, if she specializes, yeah, that's right. So it could be, so she's probably late 20s, early 30s, maybe? If you really know your daughter, you'd know, you know what? You people should be ashamed of yourselves, really seriously.
Well, we're trying to avoid further embarrassment.
I'm afraid it would cause quite a stir if the neighbors saw you stomping about.
Yeah.
That's it? You just want us to disappear now?
Marilyn. Please.
Don't cause a scene.
No. Now I feel like causing a scene, though. Yeah, actually, I don't know about you, Ellie, but I'm ready to cause a scene. It's how, yeah, Nyoka's, she's good. She just, you know, she's not a mean person. It's sci-fi capitalism, though. Maybe years of learning downloaded to the brain, maybe sleep learning, and we'd have to give back the money, and we've spent it on the floors. We just can't. Yeah,
Let's just get out of here, Captain.
I don't know.
Fine. I'm gone.
I don't.
Forever this time.
I don't know. I'm feeling petty. I don't know. I'm feeling like we should cause a scene. Can we like tip over something? Like a. I feel like we should play like I want to fight for your right to party. You know? Maybe.
Let's just put this unpleasantness behind us.
You know, I'm feeling pretty petty. Can I like knock? At this moment, I saved, killed her parents, and then loaded the game up again. Oh, I could maybe.
Please leave quietly now.
Yeah, I'm not feeling good about that. That's not the way you treat your child. I'm not gonna kill them, but what I might do is steal things in front of their face, like a cat. Do you know what I mean? Like where I'll just like pick it up, put it in my bag, and then just look at them and see how they respond. So yeah, let's just take their stuff in front of their face. Yeah.
What do you think you're doing?
I just stole your stuff. I can't attack them because they didn't attack me first, but I will intimidate them. I will say whatever I want. Oh. Ambar Garwin! Hey, Ambar Garwin. I just stole something from their parents and then I intimidated them and they just sat down. Which was not as satisfying as I wanted. But maybe if I steal a second thing, then they'll, you know, get all upset. Yeah, I'm gonna steal these high society cigarettes right in front of your face. Oh. Doesn't count as stealing now. How about, I'm gonna take your purple berry punch.
Make him regret it.
Oh, well, I'm gonna steal more of your stuff. How do you feel about that? You know, whatever. Y'all. Yeah, sit back down, Richie Rich. The wrong sons. Well, I tried to intimidate them. I tried to like steal their stuff to provoke them. But you know what though? Now they know. They know I'm dangerous. I run around and I steal punch and cigarettes and wine. Makes me sound like a shoplifter, which I don't know if it's that dangerous, but anyway. So before the 19th century, early before the acting culture was different, it was much broader. This style sort of continues on through melodrama. It was like a much broader style of acting. It wasn't realistic, but it was like there was a lot of really cool stuff. He's fanning himself with insurance money. Yeah, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. There was like a lot of like poses. Like there's a lot, or if you go really early, there are a lot of like stock poses, standard poses you would use would mean certain things. Anyway, it's sort of a broader style. I don't think we could get upstairs. I don't think we could. Sleep with one eye open for your wine. She'll never be safe. No, it won't. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to her, but I wanted to get out of the house first, you know? I didn't want to talk to her in the house right in front of her parents. That feels awkward. So I thought I'd just take her outside and then have a chat with her.
A word, Captain?
Yes, of course. I just didn't want to talk to you in front of your parents, you know? Because that seemed like it would be awkward. So anyway, the acting tone was quite broad, big, right? And audiences would like cheer and they would like throw tomatoes or whatever. It was like really very interactive. There's a lot of cheering. Also, if the audience was really excited about your soliloquy, they would cheer and then you would like read it again, or if it was an opera, they would like you would sing your song again. And so it was a bit more, I feel like it was a bit more Rocky Horror Picture Show. And then the rise of the middle class with the Industrial Revolution, they needed to sort of get some culture because they didn't have any. So they basically appropriated working class people's culture. So like Shakespeare, a lot of theater, opera, things like that. And Yes, he was. He was like, Shakespeare was super interactive, and a lot of people, like, they really, I mean, people who could not read knew Shakespeare, and they had like bunches of Shakespeare memorized. Like, Shakespeare companies would go play at like mining camps, you know, during the gold rush. And so what ended up happening was that, this is interesting if you know Lincoln, that there was this, with the rise of the middle class and also Wagner, there was this idea that you had to behave differently and that audiences should not talk back or throw things. They should sit there. Wagner was the first to bring the house lights down. Before Wagner, the lights would always be up so that you could look at other people that you're in the theater with and you could chat with them. And you like to see the same show lots of times anyway. And like, you could see who's hanging out, you could wave, you know, have some dinner, whatever you're gonna do. And then like Wagner brought the house lights down and sort of started treating theater as if it were like a church. We're supposed to sit there and be quiet and behave and like be like, oh, art. And that was like a big shift. And the middle class was like, yes, we want to be proper. We don't want to be inappropriate. We want to be appropriate, which, and then acting styles shifted as well with this change in audience. Hello, Johnny Blams. Oh, Johnny Blams, I miss you too. Johnny Blams, I heard rumor that we might get you in The Witcher at some point in the future, maybe. Is that true? Is that true, Johnny? Because if it were true, that would be awesome. I'm just saying it would be awesome, is what I'm saying. Yeah, the public knew Shakespeare memes, essentially, yeah, and they actually had large chunks memorized, too. It sounds a bit like kabuki theater. Yeah, there should be an option to report them for insurance fraud, because watching them go from being rich to the streets makes my petty heart happy. Maybe
Can you believe those two?
Yeah. Your hair looks...
We've been there a minute and they turned us out like yesterday's garbage.
Your hair looks really great right now, if that helps. Like, your hair is looking really good, if that makes you feel better. Johnny Blams, are we gonna get you in The Witcher, maybe? Are we? Are we going to get you in The Witcher, maybe? Just... It's definitely in the cards, and I would love it. It broke my heart to say no to the full show. I just haven't had a surplus of time to commit to a full commit. That makes sense. But, you know, if we could get you in there at some point in time, that would be awesome. Because I like RPing with you. If you all don't know Johnny Blams, first off, there is a command, and it is streamer. And Johnny Blams. I spelled it right. Johnny Blams and I were in this Witcher campaign, Game of Thrones campaign together, Song of Ice and Fire, over on, and also, oh, of course, and he was so good. Like, it was over on Encounter Roleplay, and GM'd by Susanna Grace, who's an amazing GM. Love her. Great cast. It was only like, what? Do we have, 8 episodes? I feel like we only had 2 episodes and it was over real fast. And I feel sad about the fact we only had one half of an episode to play that was basically just showed up on stream for 5 minutes and it was done, is how it felt. He was Bo Boy, so good, such a great dynamic, so fun. And Johnny Blams is on my list, basically. I have a list. I make a list of who's naughty and nice. No, I make a list of people that I played with, and I was like, ooh, I want to play with Johnny again, and I make a little check mark so that when I start, I do not think I've updated it for the current moment, but I have a list of, okay, I actually have more than one list. I have more than one list. This is a true fact. I have a list of every character I've played in every RPG, any costume notes and any voice notes or personality notes or group function notes. I have a list of that. I have a list of every single show I've been in, all their dates, who I've played with, what their email is, or Twitter, what their Twitter is, how to contact them, so I can think about them. I make a list of every stream I've ever done and its date. I make a list. What else is on my list? It's an Excel spreadsheet with multiple tabs. One tab is every stream I've done. One tab are all the characters I've done. One tab are all the shows I've been in, all their casts. One tab is a list of people who are not in shows I've been in, but people who are interesting, like artists. So various artists that I'm like, oh, I should probably get them for what do you call it? Commission. Anyway, I have multiple tabs in Excel spreadsheets, and I have Johnny Blams on my list. Jer, it's online streaming people that I've done. However, I do need to add to the list. I have a new list that I need to add. I need to add a list of people that I would invite to a GURPS game. So far, I've only been keeping it in my head, but I actually need to put that list down. And I actually have some of those names in some random Discord scratch for my note for myself, but I need to actually put that together and put it on my... I need to make a new tab on my streaming spreadsheet, which are people who I would invite to a GURPS game, because that is a small list. Not because I'm exclusive, but because a lot of people hate GURPS, which just makes me so sad. But I need to make I need new list, everybody, new list, new list. Does anyone need to add a list to add list? Yes. This sounds like, oh, Mrs. Barentor, you don't even know the spreadsheets in my life. And I'm not even really, really good with spreadsheets. I know some people are so good with spreadsheets they can do magic. I'm okay. That warms my heart. I look for, yes, I want to share a table with you very soon again. Metal arm punch. Okay, so what we're gonna do, acting. They shouldn't have gotten so upset. How did you think that would go? You were making quite the scene. Oh, how did you think that would go is what I'm gonna ask. Oh, Mrs. Barentor loves spreadsheets?
Scandalized. They'd both be sitting there watching one of their vapid aetherwave dramas, and then we'd walk in. Mother would drop her mock apple cider, and the glass would shatter all over their overpriced marble. Father would tear off his glasses and blink open-mouthed.
Oh, okay. I want to do streamed GURPS for very important reasons. Because, I have to tell you something. All you need to do is ask. Look, so here's the thing. Jared says I need an SQL server. I want to talk about that too. Commander Pulsar, oh man, I used to run GURPS every day. I have a bookshelf of GURPS source books. Those are just the ones I can't digitally replace. My bookshelf of GURPS books is quite impressive. It's just not visible because it's in storage because I'm only here for a year and I didn't want to bring the many, 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 many gaming books that I have. Excuse me for one moment. I need to write down something right now. Where am I writing it down? I'm writing it down in my, hold on, my server. I have my Scratch. This is not where I should put it, but I'm going to put it here anyway. Let me see. My Scratch is GURPS people. GURPS people. I have to put this in, I'm going to put this in an actual spreadsheet. But GURPS people, also, by the way, I'm going to do an arena. I'm working on it. It's just that I have to get this stuff started. Once I get this stuff started, then I can do a GURPS arena once I make sure I actually have a day and time where I can do it. So Lindy likes crunchy things, so she's on my list. Barentor likes GURPS. Barentor's on my list. Commander Pulsar likes GURPS. Write this down. And also Missile Monkey likes GURPS. Missile Monkey. But I'm going to do an arena before I do an actual campaign. I'm going to do an arena and I'm going to invite people to come and play because that's goodness. I have delved deep into spreadsheets. I want to talk about spreadsheets. Scabanex, stream GURPS. Yes, I have thoughts. I've wanted to play GURPS with some gung-ho GURPS players. Yes. I'm going to punch so many mooks with GURPS rules. I might even dig out the GURPS Supers book so I can get inspired by cinematic damage. Depends on what the rules in play are, right? First truck is home stuff. Second truck is just RPG. Yes. I assume, yes, PH, you are, because you were interested, right? Yes. And I was like, I want people who are, they used to occupy 3 levels of a Walmart bookshelf. Yeah, but I moved cross country, so everything I could replace with a digital copy went to a used bookstore. It was a sad day, but hopefully they all went to a good home. Yeah, I keep the hard copy. I really like both. I liked having both hard copy and digital. Digital for searching or for having up. Oh gosh, okay, so if I'm at a physical table, I want the books because I find the books to be less distracting than screens if I'm in person. But I want the digital for searching. But if I'm streaming, I like the digital because I can put it up on the monitor and nobody realizes that I'm looking at a book. So it isn't distracting that way. So I like both is what I like. I like both. Rissa and I were in a really amazing GURPS game. Actually, more than one, actually. Rissa and I have played a lot of GURPS together in Rissa. I'm not on the list because I don't have a camera. Krellin doesn't have a camera. Faint praise. No. Time of gifts. Trooper needs his candidate so that he can plan the dates, and he's got this little list, so his GURPS will not be missed. Yeah. Nobody. Well, I don't think that's true. Well, I don't think it's. First off, clearly, I don't. There are people who love GURPS way more than I love GURPS. I just thought about something. Oh, you do have a good microphone. If we had, think about this. There's art. There's art. Putting this down here. Same brain, Trooper. I like digital copies given, all the on-rolling role-playing I do, but I like the nice hard copies because they're pretty and I love books. Yes, and also I just find them less disruptive at the table. Yeah, there is a certain je ne sais quoi about having a physical book, says Mr. Monkey. Krellin says, I think the guy I played GURPS with in high school loves GURPS more than Trooper. Yeah, I think there are people who love GURPS more than I do. I might worry about them. I'm going to say that is a very specific fantasy.
Shh, I'm getting to the good part. I'd have a great one-liner in the tube. I was thinking either the leather's fake but the scars are real, or oops, did I just track awesome onto your rug?
I'm gonna go with my intimidate because I feel like it's funny. How about it's payback time and I'm collecting with interest?
Yeah, I'm gonna use that one day.
Right, it's good. Just saying.
Now, getting back to my story.
I like tactile interaction
Father
with books
would
as well.
throw his hands up because this would be just like me to come back and make a big scene. Then Mother would do the old, you had us worried sick. Her eyes would be red and she'd have her fist in front of her mouth to stifle a sob.
I will remind you, Trooper, that my dance card will be very free for a bit starting in April. I'm guessing I'll still be looking for the next job for a bit. Oh, that's true. I'm thinking that I'm going to be, I'm pretty full until my schedule, surprise, by the way, because I'm going to be doing a thing, is pretty full until the end of the semester at this moment. I'm trying to see if I can find a little bit of space here and there. And I have to move. So I have to move July 1st back to the Boston area to a place and then unpack. So, oh gosh, people. City of Light and Shadow should end. What is this? February, March, April. Should end in the end of May. Basically, end of May. City of Light and Shadow will end, which gives me June to do maybe like a little one-shot, two-shot. Maybe I can get AJ in. We can actually do called Cthulhu Confidential then. Basically, it could send a little two-shot 2 weeks, and then I'll move. Pack up and move. And then once I unpack and get myself set up, I'll be able to start streaming again, which means I probably won't start. If I can do a little two-shot in June, probably will not do an RPG in July, but then plan to start up in August. Unless there's Gen Con, in which case I plan to start up right after Gen Con, which again will be in August. So I imagine we're going to have no RPGs on my channel in July because of, or maybe the very end, it depends. I might do a solo. If I get everything set up, I might do a solo again, maybe 1,000 Year Vampire. Something interesting. Anyway, point being that I'm gonna for fall, I've got to figure out what's gonna happen in the fall, and I want to do some, I have so many things I want to tell you. This is so terrible. I have too many thoughts. Yeah, I'm already so close to the move back, and I really need to make an email. I need to make an email about something. But the question is, are we going to get Gen Con this year? Is there going to be an in-person Gen Con? I don't know, because end of July is your birthday year? Middle of July is my birthday. No, I don't know if I'll be okay, Krellin. It's really unclear. Also, I need to find out if I got sabbatical leave in the fall. They really should tell me. Am I going to get an email about that? Yeah, I have a feeling no Gen Con either, Baron Tor. I mean, it's possible, but I have a feeling that we're not going to have Gen Con. That's my feeling. Because, yeah, I don't think there's going to be Gen Con this year. I know that they've said that there's going to be one, but I think that's for insurance purposes. I just don't think there's going to be a Gen Con. If there were a Gen Con, would I really go? I have not been outside of this house except to get my bi-weekly COVID test. I doubt it. Yeah, I am skeptical about all of that. Let's see. I'm gonna say, you're really hurt, aren't you?
I'm not hurt.
No, you're hurt.
I'm outraged.
You're hurt.
Affronted, even. I just didn't want to get booted out of the house I grew up in like that.
I know.
It's embarrassing, you know? And I've got a reputation to maintain.
Commander Pulso says, if they were going to be a Gen Con, they've already missed their own deadlines for badges and hotel lottery. That's true. Yeah, that's true. But I think they announced there was going to be a Gen Con in person, but I was talking to somebody who I don't remember, and it might have been in Discord. I don't remember. Anyway, they said that they figured that sort of announcement that there was going to be a Gen Con in person was basically having to do with like hotel, convention center insurance or something or other. They'll probably just cancel it. Bi-weekly is a lot of, fortnightly. I'm going to say fortnightly because yes, fortnightly. Every fortnight I have to get a COVID test. I can tell you from what I'm seeing in the live event world, nope, nothing. Yeah, and Vulpes knows because Vulpes is an expert in that. They announced they were going to do it, but I was like, I don't believe it. They have to make sure he's safe to stay in his apartment. Work through in your own time. I just want to know what we're doing next. No, trust me, this was the best. I'm sorry, it's a rough situation. That's what I'm going to say.
I'm used to rough situations. Like when someone loads your pistol with blanks and strands you in a Marauder moonbase, or traps you in an airlock with an angry mantis worm.
Really? Wait, Commander Pulso says, yeah, I imagine it's all about the game of chicken that is convention space insurance. Yeah, but especially because they want to keep going. And yeah, Baron says probably a combo of insurance and getting PPE monies for a halt in business. Yeah, that makes sense too. Like I feel like they made that call even though there was no way they were going to actually go in person because yeah, if the venue cancels, it's cheaper for Gen Con. Yeah. It had to do with holding dates for the convention center over multiple years. Yes. This is a problem with academic conferences too. Like with writing, yeah. If someone needs a BitCon feeling, J-pop Con online is the 27th and 28th of February. Ooh, Gen Con. Oh, thank you. The thing is, I am not super excited about online cons. I have to do academic conferences as well, including, and I am not a big fan of them, mainly because, well, for a couple of reasons. I'm still gonna talk about acting. Reaper Online Convention is coming up soon too, if you do any miniature painting. That's Barantor, and Embar Garwin says, also depending on how well the vaccines get rolled out in the upcoming months, it might actually be feasible because it is all the way in August. Yeah, I would be eligible to get a vaccine, but I'm not because I'm not teaching in person this semester, so I'm not at the moment. Here's why I'm not excited about online conventions or conferences. For academic conferences, I don't go to the conferences for the papers. I mean, I might go for the papers. I go to papers when I'm there, but that's not what I'm going there for. What I'm going there for is to meet people and to chat with people, to meet up with my grad school friends, meet up with colleagues in different spaces, have lunch with people that I was like meeting new people. Like I had this really great lunch with Philip Ewell, who wrote this music theory article that caused everyone to lose their mind. And I met with him before that happened, so it was really nice. So like, anyway, like you go there to like, I suppose networking is what people call it, but for me, it's like just catching up with friends and seeing what's new and going to meetings, and you don't really get to have lunch with people that way and meet new people. Oh, I also go to conferences to be a resource for grad students. Like if people want to, like if people are going to like, are applying for grad school, I want to make sure that I'm there so that I can, like if there's somebody who wants to talk to me that I don't even know they exist, they can come and find me and I can talk about grad programs. Like, so like I'm there to like, basically, oh, and I'm also there to introduce my grad students to professors in PhD programs they want to apply to. So I can be like, hey, Susan, this is my grad student. They're a master's student. They want to be a PhD student. They're very good. You should look in, like, so like I'm there to do people business at conferences. I'm not there for the papers as much, usually because the papers are not very interesting. But I'll go to some papers, of course, but I'm there like for human interaction, and you just can't do that online very much. So that's not great. I'm for them for academic cons just because I can get work in the broadcast side. Yeah. I mean, I think that's totally fine, right? Let's see. PH said, I saw some pictures of a recent online con where you actually had avatars walking through a space, queuing and such. Actually, it's a program called Gather Town, I think it's called. I was doing that, but it's not the same. It's actually a little bit weird. Part of the con experience is the hangout, to be honest, yeah. Wild Con the MMO. You know, actually, I was in one for a talk that I did. You have to get your own tipple. Thanks, buddy. Commander Pulsar. So the real business of conventions happens in bars and side conventions. Yeah. Networking is much harder online. Yeah. Well, because it depends on the con. It's also in continuing ed credit for most. Yeah, that's right. I mean, I've done online cons and like they were fine. Do you know what I mean? Well, side note. I had to turn a game down at like 3 a.m. in a hotel room because, you know, 3 a.m. Also, the papers presentations are meh. They are. Online paper presentations are usually meh, but I don't forget to tell you this thing. Commander Pulsa says, I haven't missed a Dragon Con since 89, not counting 2020, and I have maybe been to 10 panels in that time. Networking is hard. See, for me, it's not, I don't think of it as networking. I just think of it as like meeting people that I already know, and then people that I don't know come and say hi to me. Like, yeah, it just feels a little different in academia. Dragon Con is the one I've wanted to go to. I want to go to Dragon Con as well, since Atlanta is driving distance. Yeah, I want to go to Dragon Con. I heard it's really good. But with Gen Con, I was like, you can play RPGs online, but one of the reasons why I go to Gen Con is not, I don't go to Gen Con just for RPGs. I actually go to Gen Con also to play card games. I used to play like the Game of Thrones, it would be in Game of Thrones tournaments, Ashes, Rise of the Phoenixborn tournaments. The Arkham Horror would do the Arkham Horror stuff. And then also Pathfinder card game stuff. So I was going there for like card games, and that's just not really working online in the same way. And also I went there for the food trucks. Card games, board games, get together after hours. Yes. Embar Garwin, yes. And last Gen Con, I went to .con and we got to meet up with, Embar Garwin, got to meet up with people. It was like really cool. And I want to meet people like, and the donut truck. This is what I'm saying. I got to meet with people. I always wanted to go and see the new stuff and do demos. Yeah, that too. Like, and be able to kind of like, wander. This is actually the same, by the way. I'm gonna find out what just to say. This episode, wait, once again, that's very specific.
What can I say? I don't collect things, I collect experiences. Just can't think of a good use for this.
You know what? Hold on. I'm off center. People, I'm off center. Better? Let's see. Still off center. Better? I hope. I don't like being off center. I go to my friends who I only see at cons, yeah. Too many people at cons, but you can, I go to a small, Origins I think is smaller than Gen Con, right? So I imagine that like you can go to like maybe the smaller cons. I went to Arisia Con, which is, maybe it wasn't Arisia Con, maybe it was. There's a con up in the New England area that was quite small, and I played a bunch of Vampire, the Eternal Struggle, Jihad, it's good. Dragon Con is very much a media con. Oh, a Southern hospitality version of San Diego Comic Con, meeting actors and writers and artists at their booths where you can have actual personal conversations. You can learn something from this. It's up to you to determine what that is. Enjoy. Everyone's only out for themselves. You've seen that now. You've got to surround yourself with people who will really look out for you. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say.
Unless you mean the kind who'll look out for you to blink so they could swipe your bits.
Come on.
The galaxy's not exactly crawling with those.
But what have we been doing all this time?
Anyway, I don't want to sift through this lousy experience for meaningful life lessons. I'm mad, and I want to do something about it.
Okay.
Something like...
Yes?
Wait a second. What if I could get that money?
Okay, keep talking.
I could open a new account, designate that account holder as a sole beneficiary. All the payouts would go to me. I'll make money without doing a thing. And I'll get to cut them off.
Mrs. Barentor and I, we've got a bunch of people in chat who are super into it. A conclusion, in-person cons are way more fun, but online cons the only way I can hang out with my friends from now. Dragon Con was also a very crowded con. Very much a drinking and questionable decisions con. Somewhat, although Origins is catching up to Gen Con. Is it really? I heard it was dying a little bit, Volpez. If you have more info, I'd love to know. Because I heard it was like basically that Origins was not doing very well. Because it used to, my understanding was Origins used to have, I've never been, used to have a lot of the premieres. Like they had a lot of like, people would like bring things to Origins first, but I hear that that's sort of happening a little bit less. Don't know if it's true, but I've always Origins more of an industry convention. Yeah, I heard that too. I don't want to be anything like my parents. I know what I could do. Insurance fraud. I'm going to say quite the role reversal.
As long as I don't develop a taste for wool gonzola and bad legal dramas, that's fine by me.
You know what?
My policy is with the Greater Halcyon Insurance Group. They have an office in Byzantium.
I will help you.
Maybe you could use some of your people skills to help me set up a dummy beneficiary account.
I actually do have people skills.
If that doesn't work, I'm sure we can find one of their terminals and do it ourselves.
Sure. I saw a letter in their mailbox. They're in Fallbrook.
What a relief. The less time we have to spend in Byzantium, the better.
Yeah. I do need to ask you a few things.
Something on your mind?
No, not really. I was just messing with you. I was just kidding. Oh! Level up! I think we're gonna do some insurance fraud. This is very much like my dream, but not exactly. Right. I'm gonna level up right now. Hey, how you doing, by the way? Riyadi, I just want to say hi. How you doing?
I hope this fancy soap we got is extra strength.
Oh.
Feeling a mite ripe.
Don't worry about it. We're gonna take care of it. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. That said, I'm gonna level up. And I'm just gonna go 100 in Persuade. We're just gonna like max out our Persuade. We're just going full in on Persuade. And then we're going to do hacking. Yeah, we'll just go all hacksaws. Just hacking. That's... Hey, look, my defense is real bad, everyone. Isn't that hilarious? Like, my defense is real bad, but I feel like that's fine because I also never use my defense. Like, I never dodge, and I don't even know how to dodge. So I have a food addiction right now. I'm not doing well food-wise. That's cool. I should eat food, which clears up space. So I feel like I have never dodged in this game. I think I dodged once. Also, I need to get better at handguns. Yeah, I need to get better at handguns as well. Hacking first, then handguns. Except... Oh, 245, thank you. Thank you. I'll probably go a tad little later. Just like a little. I feel like we're good. Yes. Except... There's a really good country song that I really, really love, and I just wanted to tell you that, even though you're like, why are you telling me that? I'm gonna eat some food, so that I don't, because I'm addicted to food or something. Like, I apparently have to eat, whatever that's about. I just ate some food, lessen my inventory. See, look, this is why I chose that addiction or that problem thing, because I felt like if I took it, it would force me to eat food, which will clear my inventory. So it was like, yeah, you might need hacking for insurance. Like, I feel like I need it. Your companions suck up all your damage. Dodging for folks who dump con. I am still playing. I'm going to play you a song before I end, and that had better not get DMC'd because I made it. And if anybody DMCs my music, I will be not happy. I wanted to go to my journal, by the way, and do, we got Parvati. I figured we could go and get Parvati some soap and everything since we're here already. And, Parvati's my bud. Oh, that's up here. So we've got stuff to do down here, but why don't we just go up and hang out with Parvati just a little bit? Because she's my buddy, and I like her. That's all. And Trooper eating food instead of selling it is wasting it.
Citizens, today marks a monumentous occasion in the course of Halcyon history. After a deep and thorough examination of our budgets, revenue streams, and predictive models, we are publishing our yearly success report.
Cool.
Profits are soaring.
Great.
Promotions abound. Thanks to your continued hard work, Halcyon is healthier and more productive than ever.
Cool.
In the coming months, Byzantium will be sure to see the many rewards reaped from your diligent labor. Once we nail down the details, I can't wait to share what's in store.
I don't believe you.
For now, my friends,
Yeah.
keep up the hard work.
Whatever, big brother. Barentor says, so Mrs. Barentor and I had a long conversation about country music bars in non-rural areas, dance club country, and a lot of 90s scene and country the other day. It reminds me that I should, oh yeah, you should. Yes. Yes. I think what I want to say is I think it's tricky. Like, here are my thoughts, right? Because
Out with it, you wretched contraption!
if you go to really rural spaces, sometimes there just aren't bars there. So like you have to have a certain level of density to have bars at all, right? But there's a difference between, like San Angelo is a city, right? Like it is an actual city. It had country bars that were great. There's some really great country bars near army bases that were maybe a tad more remote. But I've also been to country bars in San Francisco, the Bay Area, and depends on the one. Some of them, I was like, I'm not enjoying this. Oh.
It's an orrery.
Oh.
And you say that every time.
It's strange, though. I thought Byzantium was the center of Halcyon.
That's a figure of speech.
I know that.
I have not been up here before. I didn't realize there was an upstairs. And can I get to those upstairses? Like, can I get to upstairses everywhere? Like, are there like bunches upstairs of upstairses that I've just never been to? And all this time, I feel like I've missed so much. I've missed all the upstairses. Maybe I didn't. Let me think about that. Discord. Halcyon.
I love Byzantium.
I'm sure you do. I'm not talking to you. I just want to see what's over here first. This is the Billingsley's? Oh, we can actually walk in that door maybe? Oh, I just found Billingsley's House of Inebriation. We're just gonna walk in there and see what's happening. Just imagine exploring all the second-storied halls. Hey, look, there are people here. Interesting. There's also a big robot here. Also interesting. There's also Mr. Billingsley. So, hello, who are you? You're a wealthy citizen, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to any of you people. Anyway, the song that I really quite like is Can't Run From Yourself by Tanya Tucker. Tanya Tucker's awesome, and she actually had hits way back in the day, but that's a 90s, it's a good one. So anyway, there are some of the bars in, there were a couple of country bars. There was a country bar in Walnut Creek that was really good, but hey, but here's the thing. So I learned how to two-step in Texas. I learned the regular two-step, not the Texas two-step, although I also know the Texas two-step, but I just generally dance the regular two-step. But I learned how to dance in Texas, and then I danced like in all the places where I was stationed in the Army. And when I went back to the Bay Area, there was this one country night in this one little bar that was pretty good. But then I went to this one place, it was called Thunder Bay, and it was like this massive country bar, big club. And everybody was a really good dancer, but their dancing was very different in a way that made me go, like that. So the way I learned how to two-step, which is how you learn it, on the streets. You know how like in ballroom dance, your hold is sort of like this, where like if you're the lead, you've got your right arm underneath your follow's arm, and you have your hand basically sort of on their shoulder blade, and they have their arm overlaid on yours, and then you have your hand out here, and they put their hand in your hand like so, and so then you can sort of by moving your body, right? With pressure on with your hand here or here, with a good frame, good tension, you can move them this way. It's very upright. It's very upright posture, very proper. And then you sort of glide across the dance floor. That is not Blue Bloody Mary intrigued. Oh, huh. Have you tried our new cocktail sponsored by Rizzo's? 1 part purple spectrum vodka, 1 part artificial tomato-like substitutive juice. We call it a Blue Bloody Mary. Yeah, sure. I'll take it.
Then you'll want to speak with our automechanical inebriation assistant, located just over there.
Wait, aren't you the bartender?
Quite so. But I would never lower myself to do something as gauche as tending bar. My automechanical assistant does all the work for me.
Wow, okay. Well, I wanted to ask you something.
Oh, by all means, ask away.
Have you picked up any interesting rumors, like the album by Fleetwood Mac?
Do you know Celeste Joliker? I've heard she's working on some spectacular new design.
How are you doing, Anarch W? What's up? Okay, cool. What's it like working Byzantium?
I don't believe in work. Work is for automechanicals and lower classes.
Great. So how does anything get done around here?
By automechanicals, of course. Byzantium's fleet of mechanical servitors are programmed to simulate a labor force, but without all the unsightly workers milling about.
Wow.
We all have our roles in society.
Wow.
I like to think of myself as an entrepreneur.
Do you?
This drinking establishment is my investment.
Interesting. You know, I gotta go away from you. So this is like that, right? But in, you're a bartender who doesn't tend bars, so you're useless. Got it. Yeah. Useless and also judgy. And I have no use for that. All right, so, but when I learned how to two-step on the streets, that you did not use that hold. That was not...
Please allow me to improve your drinking experience with fine cocktails and pre-approved banter.
Sure, pre-approved banter? How could I resist?
Request confirmed. Banter protocol activated. Welcome, attractive patron, to Billingsley's House of Inebriation. Studies have shown that drinking in the vicinity of extremely valuable objects, such as this automechanical bartender, can enhance the quality of your intoxication.
Okay, well, you know what? I'll have a drink. Oh, I have a discount and everything. Do we have the, okay, our drinks are glacier water, iceberg aged whiskey, Trappist stout, rum and something, rum mixed with a soda mixer ready to drink, Spectrum vodka, genuine Spectrum potato-based vodka, algae lager, the Lichen lager, 0G brew made in space, glacier water, a bottle of pure melted pack ice, iceberg aged whiskey, a bottle of Tropical whiskey, Trappist stout, a bottle of Trappist stout ale. Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna buy something because I said I would, but you know, that's what makes rich drinking classy. Being around expensive shit, that's true. Mrs. Berentor says, I can say that offering drinks while selling expensive stuff tends to work. Rissa says, I wonder what would happen if you had your robot crew doodling. Oh, that's a good question. I'm going to, okay, what do these things do? This is mind attributes. I feel like it's a caffeine drink. I feel like my mind's good. I'll get one of those. Don't be mad at me. I'm just gonna buy one and then I'll use it. This is what? This gives me personality attributes. I like being charming. I'll get one of those too. I probably don't need it, so I won't. This is more personality. More personality. I think it gives you a hangover. More personality. More personality. I feel like I'm pretty good with personality, right? I feel like yeah, so we're just gonna get the glacier water, which gives us mind stuff and has no downside. We're gonna get all of it. Yeah. And then, because Krellin would want me to, I'm going to repair all of my stuff. And then I'm gonna sell some things if I have anything to sell, which I probably don't even. Right, I probably don't even have anything. I just, yeah. I like caffeine-free water. Clearly distance apparently do give less hangover. Oh, that's interesting. I'm working my own RPG. Ooh, it will be a steampunk sort of RPG. My problem right now, I haven't come up with a good resolving mechanic that is fun and simple to use. What? I'm gonna sell some of the things. I'm gonna sell some of the things. Hey, Prax. You know, Anarch Dovey, a lot of this is a pistol. I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna sell it. Just going wild. I'm just selling. Just what if what if I need it? I mean, what if all this selling is unwise and the world ends because but I'm doing it. I'm selling it. I'm gonna keep this one just to see. I'll sell all this too. Just selling it. Ta-da! I sold things and I'll just sell all the junk too. Trooper, you're in the penultimate. Oh, am I really? Oh. Do stores that specialize in certain item types get better prices? I don't know. I actually don't know. I'm gonna go in this door because why not? Oh, it leads to outside. We're supposed to help Parvati get stuff, but this leads to outside, everybody. The Byzantium estates, which seems, nope, we're not gonna do that right now. We're not gonna do that right now. We're gonna go and finish Parvati's thing, and then we'll go. That's what we're gonna do. So, Castle Falkenstein and Clockwork Dominion both use cards as their resolution mechanic, and RW, because it was not gentlemanly to play with cards in the Victorian era, and so
you with the hips over here.
Me?
Let me take a closer look at you.
Me? Oh, okay. Well, all right. Okay. Hi. And so card mechanics can be very popular. I'm sorry. Dice were inappropriate for gentle person's behavior. Dice, no good. But people played whist. So a number of like Victorian games use cards rather than dice, if that is interesting to you. This is Lauren's favorite part of the game. Don't restart card mechanics for RPGs. Gentlemen, dice are low class. That is correct. What about a steam plumbing mechanic to resolve? Or you just have to get into fistfights in real life? What?
Don't speak.
What?
Hold that posture for a moment while I admire you. You have a natural contrapposto, my dear. The way you rest your weight against your hip suggests a certain rugged charisma possessed only by the mighty primal and the well-traveled spacer. Splendid. I love it.
Your eye makeup's on point. I just thought I'd point that out, right? That's a good name for a game. Real life fistfights. Because, if you have to be social in real life, if you want to be social in an RPG, because some people don't believe in social mechanics, some people are like, if we have like social mechanics, it just ruins the RP. And I was like, or it allows people who are really good at social things to just win, and people who are not to not. That seems sketch. But anyway, if we were like, oh no, it's totally fine, then that means we should also be fist fighting in RPGs in real life. And then whoever's the best fist fighter will probably be the GM. Right? That would be weird. Then all of a sudden, RPGs become Fight Club. Unless you have those people who are really good fist fighters, but then they don't want to be GM, they just want to be like the player who just beats up all the GMs. I just feel like it's probably not a good idea. That's all I'm saying. She wants to art me. She probably does. Fisticuffs to resolve. Excellent idea. I like her hair too. I think her hair's really good. We don't talk about Fight Club, says Barantor. And RTB, the dice are perfect for the game. Players are adventurers and generally lower class. Oh, that's interesting. Interesting. You can tell all that by the way I'm standing. I'm gonna say that's me. Rugged and well-traveled.
Celeste, you've done it again. I knew from the moment I laid eyes on you that I'd found my muse.
Oh.
I'm Celeste Jolicoeur.
Hello.
And you, my dear, are exactly what Byzantium needs.
I'm not going to say the very provocative thing, because I do need things from her, so I will not say what Byzantium needs to be taken apart brick by brick, because that might upset her, and I need stuff from her first, so I'm gonna say, yeah, it's like you read my mind.
Darling, you and that brutish swagger of yours have been on my mind the moment you stepped into my studio.
Really not that brutish.
I'm working on a new line of clothing that will shock this city to its core.
Oh?
And I'd like your help.
Okay.
What do you say, my dear? Care to make history with me?
Yeah, sounds like fun. Count me in.
Marvelous! You and I are gonna wake this city up like a cold splash of wine to the face.
Okay, sure.
What I need is a survey of the outside world. What does the common laborer wear? How do the wild-eyed madmen of Monarch dress themselves? I've heard rumors, but I require samples. Also, I expect you to model for me.
Chat, I'm concerned. I'm concerned that all that time that I was collecting clothing and then just selling it, I should have been hoarding it. What if this is the moment where all of my hoarding would have paid off, but I sold the clothes and now I can never finish this mission and I can never finish the game and my life is ruined because I did not hoard all of the clothes? What if that is exactly what's going to happen right now? I'm just saying. I've always played high class characters who are adventuring for absolute boredom's sake. You were right, Trooper. Trooper, I told you about that months ago. Oh no, you should have hoarded one piece of clothing from every world. Yeah, well, I'd have the best cars. Yeah, well, can I get the clothing I need again? Because can I? Because what if like the whole world is over? What's the benefit of seeing me wear it?
My dear, fashion is a performance art. An outfit without a body is like an instrument without a player.
Okay.
I'll need you to model for me the following: the apparel of an iconoclast, the armor of a marauder, and a full ensemble of spacer gear, helmet included. And when I say spacer gear, I mean an outfit worn by real spacers. None of that garbage spacer's choice pedals.
No tall shoes, though. I mean it.
Okay.
You have the bearing and demeanor of a born model. You're going to absolutely murder this job.
So, right, here we go, we learning that hoarding is and this is how they get you in Zork. You just don't pick up that piece of string and then like 500 hours later, you need that piece of string because only the string will help you tie it to the spoon, which you can then put the flour on top, which allows you to open the door, and then you can't open the door and the world is over. I learned it from watching you, Zork. Well, hold on, I need to know more about these outfits.
I expect you'll cut an exquisite figure. What else do you need to know?
You said something about an iconoclast outfit.
I've heard rumors of these iconoclasts, half-mad zealots rampaging across the surface of Monarch. You'll have to find your own way into Monarch. I can't help you. Even if I could, I prefer not to interfere with your creative process.
But the iconoclasts are my friends, and maybe I could just ask them for clothing. Maybe can I pickpocket their clothes off of them? It's a question. The string is needed. Language is a virus, Volpez. Since when are we in the foxhole for the game that runs in the background? It's a question. Consider how Ellie died to a tragic 12-inch shoe accident. I cannot blame Ellie for not wanting tall shoes. I agree. Cheese sandwich. Oh, I want a cheese sandwich. Now I want a grilled cheese sandwich. By the way, cheddar. Hoarding in video games is a trauma response. It's true. It's true. Like, this is a Zork response. I mean, it wouldn't stop players from being high class. Just adventurers wouldn't be seen as appropriate citizens. Plate of shrimp. Yes. 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 Swiss or it's a miss. Oh, that's fair. What I'm just trying to say is I don't like American cheese for grilled cheese sandwiches because I don't like American cheese. Velveeta specifically, because Velveeta does not have dairy in it. It's not cheese. I mean, I suppose if you're dairy free, then Velveeta is great because it's cheese with only oil, just oil and food coloring. But I don't like Velveeta cheese. I know everybody likes Velveeta cheese for their grilled cheese. They're like, oh, it's the best. But I don't like Velveeta cheese for my grilled cheese or for my mac and cheese. I just want other cheeses. Okay. What about the marauding armor?
I don't know. I've never seen a marauder.
Oh, I have.
Not in person, anyway.
I have.
There are always Aetherwade programs, but I want something authentic.
All right.
Byzantium is long overdue for a change of wardrobe, my dear. Something barbaric, yet elegant.
Okay. Death Star wants to know, sharp, aged, or mild? Sharp. The sharper, the better. I love a sharp cheddar. Like, nah. Sorry, I am going to go to the pharmacy today after the stream, and when I'm there, I'm going to get some sharp cheddar because I'm going to get groceries as well. I'm going to get groceries and sharp cheddar. I wish I had a backpack. I'm just telling you, I'm getting sharp cheddar today. It is a thing. Whatever cheese is a perfect stretch. And everybody in chat right now is agreeing that American cheese is not cheese. It's orange plastic. That's also true. No Havarti for grilled cheese for the stretch. Ooh, Havarti's good. That's a good one too. I personally just don't like American cheese. There is one instance where I will eat it. There's a space, there's a context where American cheese is very, very good. For grilled cheese, I prefer provolone for flavor, Havarti for stretch. Oh, that sounds good. I should try that actually. Hoffman Super Sharp is pretty sweet. Oh, I should get that. I like it all. Pretty much eat all the yellow foods, including Velveeta. The white, not the orange. I need to write that down somewhere really clearly. Clearly, that's what I need to do because I want to try that. Because I do like a good... grilled cheese needs at least 3 cheeses. My roommate would tell you I am made of cheese. Hey, I'm into it. Oh, I love a good extra sharp. Vermont sharp cheddar is... Mwah, it is so good. Fondue needs to make a serious comeback. Also, in Europe, I learned about something that I did not know about in the United States called raclette. When I was in Germany, for New Year's Eve, Sylvester, they call it, they would have raclette, and raclette is not fondue. I'm sure my Europeans know what raclette is. I don't know how many of my Americans. Maybe I'm just an uncultured barbarian, and that's why I didn't know what raclette was. But raclette was very cool. Will you do that on New Year's Eve? I remember someone calling a gallon of so-called nacho cheese-flavored lard pudding. Well, that's fair. Yes. I stopped buying pre-cut cheese because of the stuff in on it prevent it from sticking together. Oh, yeah. Paladin Hulk has done that a lot. There is a raclette place downtown here. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, so like, if you don't know it, it's like a hot plate, sort of. It's like there's like a thing, and there's like a... Raclette is like a... There's a base, there's like a metal, there's like a appliance base with a gap, and then there's like a metal plate thing on top. But there's a gap, and what you would do is you'd get like slices of bread, and then you'd put like vegetables, like little mini corn or whatever you got in there, and then you put the cheese on top, usually an Emmentaler or whatever, and then you'd place it in the gap, and then the heat would melt the cheese, because the top part is the hot part. It would melt the cheese onto your bread. And for New Year's Eve in Germany, or at least in Bavaria, I don't know about everywhere else, on New Year's Eve, people would have raclette, and then they would do that weird thing with the lead animal figurines where they'd melt it on their spoon, and then they'd pour it in cold water. They'd throw it, the melted lead, into the hot water, and then you'd pull out whatever happened to it, and you'd interpret it, because there's like an interpretation guide, like, does it look like a snake, or like a hedgehog, or a horse? And you'd look at your weird, or whatever, you'd look at your weird lead that has been, and then you would look at your guide, and it would tell you your future for the year. And then there'd be fireworks, and that is the New Year's Eves that I had in Augsburg, Germany. Now I'm making hungry. It's hard to find raclette plans for home use. Yeah, I imagine it's probably easier in Europe, maybe? Pre-shredded trees tends to have cornstarch coating. Oh, wait, red rum needs to be, will somebody make red rum a regular so that red rum can post links, because that would be lovely. Can confirm North Germany does that too. Oh, you do the tin, thank you. The tin fortune telling in Finland. Oh yeah, so we did it, and it was always like kind of, I think the problem I had, it wasn't really a problem, it was just an observation, is that like my fortune telling was, my tin was always ridiculous. It's always ridiculous. I'm here, I know, just red rum needs to be a regular. This is, I think it's, thank you, Rissa. Where am I supposed to find this spacer gear?
If I were an enterprising spacer in need of a wardrobe, I'd probably head to the Groundbreaker.
Oh, all right. It might be Red Ag? Reg Ad? No, I think it's Reg Ad, not Ad Reg. I think so, right? Oh, also, could you untime out Red? Because, you know.
Fabulous! I can't wait to see what you dredge up.
Like untime them out, untime them out, untiming them out. I feel like I should just ban night. Oops, I did it. So wait, we have wait. It's reg ad, reg ad. There we go. It's tomorrow. Trooper, Mrs. Barator is looking at Reclet devices. Oh, because you could probably reg delete, reg add, right? Yes. Reg is the noun. You have to watch some stupid, not funny comedy films in the 70s with Rudy Carell. No, actually, when I was in Germany, we did not watch those. We only watched Dinner for One. That was the one that we watched every single year. Dinner for One, super big in where I was at. Yeah, by the way, my engineer's going on a date and she needs a fine outfit.
You don't gotta be so forward about my reasons, Captain.
That's fine.
Let me get a good look at you. Turn around, please, darling.
Okay.
My word.
You are added.
Such muscular shoulders.
You're added.
You're a vision, dear.
Oh.
I am no such thing.
Oh, you are.
Nonsense. You're absolutely lovely. Chin up now. I have just the thing for you.
I hope it's good.
Let me do a back of the envelope calculation. Materials, labor, licensing and copyright. There.
I'm gonna persuade first because I have 100% in persuade. Prep yeast or watch Trooper. Sorry, yeast. I mean, I'm almost done. Like, I'm out of here almost. Super big link for Snazzy. Ooh, Raclette. Let me see if I can. Yeah, so it was, there's this, I think I must have talked about this at one point in time. There's this film, it's called Dinner for One, and it is super popular in Germany, and it is in English, and it must have been British English. Ooh, raclette. Ooh. Sorry, I'm distracted by how interesting that is. Also, there.
Love.
Yes.
That's the ultimate luxury, darling.
Yes.
Love.
Yes.
Oh, gracious me.
I don't get why that's funny.
Yes, the Freddie Frinton music hall sketch. Yes.
Oh, my cherub.
Yes.
Who woos for love anymore? That's so precious. All right, Captain. Here is the absolute best I can do for you.
Well, thank you. I will do that. So, yeah. So the thing is, so my friends were like, "Oh, you must know this," and I was like, "I have never seen this thing in my entire life. I do not know it. I do not know this thing." And I talked to my British friends, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't know this thing either. Like, I mean, like we might have heard of it maybe, but we don't watch it. But in Germany, every year they watch it. Every year they watch this thing. But like, it's not a thing in the U.S. And I don't really think it's a thing in the U.K. And I actually think it might have been filmed in Germany. There are a number of things in Germany that they think are American or British, but are sometimes not, or technically are, but are not actually big in the US and the UK, and I find that amazing. Thank you, Rissa. At my granny's 90th birthday, my brother and I did Dinner for One for her, and I was the butler because I'm the better actor. It's basically about this old woman who has this butler, and she's like, Jeeves, this is probably not his name, will you set the dinner for, set the table for dinner? And he's like, same as every year, madam. And she's like, yes. And so he like sits up, he sets up the dinner for like a dinner, like 4 places. And then basically she makes him pretend to be all 3 of her ex-lovers. Same as every year. And he has to like drink like the toasts every time. And then of course, in the end, they go and have sex. Well, hold up. Did you actually measure her for this outfit? I don't see any measuring tape.
Darling, do I look like an amateur? I read her measurements by eye.
Oh.
And don't you ask, because they're no one's business but her own.
Okay. If you know Freddie Finn... Oh, I didn't know he was a teetotaler. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, be right. I think it was. It was filmed for a German TV station in Germany. I'm pretty sure, right? I'm pretty sure that's right. So it's actually a German production. I've seen it more the other style that holds a cheese wedge and it melts it and you scrape it on. Oh. Huh. Yeah. 3,000 bits.
There are some things I simply cannot skimp on, darling.
No, it's fine.
Such a lovely young lady deserves the best. Now stand back. Back. I'll enter the settings and get these machines spinning. You'll be broke to bespoke in nearly an hour.
Oh, okay. Cool. The India made a German version of Dinner
and there
for
we
One.
are, my darling
The
girl.
actors are from the UK.
I wish you a splendiferous evening.
Yep.
And if you don't mind my asking, have you any interest in modeling?
Ooh.
What? Oh, no, ma'am. All them eyes staring at me? I couldn't. No way, no how. I get scared just thinking on it.
I wish you weren't so shy, my Violet. You truly are beautiful. I hope your date sees that as clearly as I.
Aww. There was something else I wanted to ask.
For you?
Yes.
Anything.
Okay. You said it was exactly what Byzantium needs. What do you mean? Because I feel like maybe we're going to cause some shenanigans, and that seems exciting. I like shenanigans.
Byzantium has lost its élan
Her
vital.
sewing kit swings both
Everything
ways.
about this city is so dreadfully stale.
Well, that's true.
I want to make people uncomfortable the way you do.
Cool.
You're an outsider.
Awesome.
You clearly don't belong in Byzantium, and yet you strut about, doing as you please.
Cool. Never heard of a tailor who wants to make people uncomfortable. Actually, that's not true. Neither one of these choices works really well because I have heard of tailors who want to make people uncomfortable. Jean-Paul Gaultier, right? I mean, I'm just saying.
I'm not some common buttonmonger, darling. I'm an artist. It's my job to make you uncomfortable.
I'm into it. I will help you. B. Wright says, I hadn't heard of it until relatively recently. Amazing that it's so famous in Germany. Yeah, that's what I was saying, B. Wright. Like, I just think it's super fascinating. There are some things that are super famous in some countries that belong to some other country, maybe, perhaps, but then in that other country they don't know about. I think that's like super fascinating. There are two different versions with slight different wording. Oh, I didn't know that, Ice Bunny. Taylor Swift has made people uncomfortable. That's also true. So an example is there are a number of bands in that are popular in Germany that people think are American, but they're actually German, or something like that. Also,
outside Byzantium? Of course not.
Oh.
There's nothing for me outside Byzantium.
Death Star, all artists must suffer for their art. The fortunate ones can outsource some of the suffering. And of course, you don't have to suffer for your art. Like, just because you suffer doesn't mean you'll be good. I think there was some jazz musician, because we're like, oh yeah, you have to suffer for your art. And the jazz musician was like, I know a lot of people who have really bad lives, they can't play. And of course, part of the reason why the jazz musician was really irritated is because it sort of implies that all you need to be really good is to just suffer and not that you have to practice for hours and hours for years. And it was like, no, this is like, this is work and I practice and and so the idea, anyway, yes. And in Norway, Dinner for One is a Christmas Day thing. Oh, interesting. She has a bit of an Anderson Cooper look. Yeah, you're sending me all over Halcyon.
Yes, and I'm terribly grateful you've agreed.
I don't mind.
Look, darling.
Yes?
I don't belong outside Byzantium any more than a fish belongs on the land.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I'm quite certain Byzantium wouldn't last 3 days without me. I'd return to a smoking ruin of hideous fabrics and mismatched colors.
Missile Monkey, I don't think it was Charlie Parker, but Charlie Parker did say something that was similar, because there was a whole thing about being on drugs and suffering makes you a better artist. And he's like, no, being on heroin has not made me a better artist. It made me hawk my horn for drugs. It didn't actually, and I thought it was really good that he said that because, well,
You're very welcome.
Cool. I'm gonna see if we can trade something.
I can't wait to see those outfits.
Wanted to see what you had for trade.
If I do
That's
somehow
all.
drop dead in here, promise me you'll drag my corpse somewhere with monsters.
What can I do for you, darling?
Can I buy something? Thanks. Oh, hey, there are top hats and fancy outfits, which I'm not gonna wear because I'm not going to, and I've already, yeah, so that's great. Cool, thanks. I'm not gonna steal anything because it's her shop. I'm not gonna break into her shop, although I need her key. I could be pickpocketing people. Why am I not pickpocketing people? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. what I'm gonna do right now, I should probably check out the bonuses, right? I'm going to set myself up for the next quest, and then we're gonna do something different.
I can't wait to see those outfits. What can I do for you, darling?
Just gonna check out your bonuses. Level 30. Hey, do you think some of these things are better than the things I have? Probably, because I feel like I'm often not good. I wish I could compare items. Like that would be really cool if I could do that. You know, because like sometimes you could, sometimes in some games they'll let you compare the armor that you're wearing with the armor that you have. Because all of these are like level 30. And, well, not all of them, but that seems... Bonuses to tech skills? Yeah, left stick. Ooh. I'm pretty sure you can compete... Oh. They got some cool things in there. It's what's noting. What is this? Restricted stock. Why is it restricted? What? But I'll get it later. So as I was saying, I'm going to go to a place where the next quest is in this town, and then I am... Oh, sorry, I've got to speak to Parvati, and then we're going to do a thing. Then we're going to go. And I'm going to get cheese.
Oh, can you believe this outfit? It's so handsome, I'm almost afraid to touch it.
I would... Oh.
Well, I guess that's everything then.
Oh, I didn't look
at... all this time?
Oh.
I just have to...
No, it's fine.
Actually do it now.
No, you can do it. I'm here for you.
You know, there's a part Junlei's been looking for to fix up the air cyclers. They only carried them on big colony ships, like the Hope.
Parvati, making every little thing perfect won't change Junlei's feelings.
I know. For a while, it felt like everything I did was a little bit of help. And it meant I didn't have to ask her to be mine. Not yet. Not for real.
Look, just...
Next time we dock with Groundbreaker, I'm doing it.
You should do it.
I'll send June a message and ask her over.
You should.
Oh, this is real scary, Captain.
I know.
I'm grateful for all you've done.
Look, so here's the thing. Sometimes you were like, oh, I like so-and-so, blah, 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 and they're like not giving you any vibes, then maybe you shouldn't ask them because they're not giving you any vibes. However, Junlei is giving you vibes, so it's okay to make the ask. You know, just... It's okay. Just... oh, wrong button. I want this button. We're just gonna check our map, our journal, pardon me, and we're gonna see what we can do. So this is, that's in, not us. This is Fallbrook, where we're not. This is, running around. This is Mr. Clark, message for the Earth Directorate. So we should go here and do this message because it is... Why not? Oh, well, it's over there. So hold on. Before we do, we just want to see... I just want to see if there are quests in our location, like in our area, and then we'll just do those. Wait. Probably just give your mother's ring. Oh my gosh, City of Light and Shadow. Oh my gosh, that's all I'm saying. Oh my gosh. Trooper, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Oh yeah, the game I'm making is also sort of Industrial Revolution, happened in your standard fantasy settings, So also things like tech science do not mesh well with magic because tech science reinforces natural laws, however magic breaks those laws and it's basically reality warping. I like it. I've been slaughtered outside of Edgewater with well over 300 armor at least once. Oh. That just proves equipment doesn't matter. So, apparently there's a quest here and I'm not seeing it on our map, which means we have to change floors, which seems kind of far away. So we're gonna put on, for next time, we'll do, we'll just go to the audition. That seems fun. We'll go to the audition and, cause that's not too far away, and we'll just do that. That's what we'll do. And,
I've always loved that.
That's it. We're just gonna set ourselves up so when we start the game, we'll be just right where we need to be. So you couldn't be a tech magic user because that would be kind of broken. There is GURPS has a Technomancer, which is all about merging the tech and the magic. you know, in the way that you do. So
I'll sue every technician and employee who's ever touched this damned device.
okay,
They know who I am.
okay, so there was this
Miss
big.
Ellie, Dr. Finhope.
What?
I noticed your pistol's been making a funny noise.
What are you talking about? I oil it every night.
Well, look here. Your slide's not
Thank you.
recoiling fully.
Thank you,
Might
Miss
be
Monkey.
due for a new spring. I could take a look.
got me.
Maybe fix it for you.
Oh,
Sure. I'm short on bits at the moment.
she'll do it for
but
free.
I'll pay you back.
Oh, no. I mean, it don't cost nothing. I got a spare spring in my pocket here, even.
See,
Everything's got a price.
that's what my character Yanto thinks. My character Yanto thinks everything has a price, and that's what my character Yanto thinks, because Yanto is dodgy. All right.
How does this sound? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to walk into you like
Yeah,
that.
no, we're gonna save now because I'm gonna talk to chat now. Game. All right, so and save. I wonder what Yanto thinks is the price of his current. Such a current predicament. Such a predicament. It's the predicament. I'm just telling you, the predicament is real, people. Like, the predicament is real. Is what I'm trying to tell you. It's real. It's real. I was talking to Lindy about it the other day, and Lindy was like, your current boyfriend's gonna be pissed that you kissed the dead boyfriend first, because, like, what's up with that? And I was like, look, Yanto is just feeling it would be better to have the dead boyfriend see Yanto kiss the new boyfriend than vice versa. Because probably the new boyfriend would not like to see Yanto kissing the dead boyfriend, and also that would also require some explanations about dead boy. And also, anyway, yeah, so, yeah, Lindy was like, no, it's gonna be bad. I was like, well, but you don't have to tell him. And then Lindy's like, my character never lies. And I was like, yeah, that's true. And then Lindy's like, and also the dragon's totally gonna say something. I was like, so good. Anyway, so good, so bad. So good, so bad. I love it. Where we are. I wonder, yeah, what normal person has random mechanical opponents in their pocket? I mean, I hope it's a fake. I mean, but I don't know. Those are my feelings. Those are my feelings. My feelings are that I have to bop out of this so that the sound does not disrupt what I'm going to do now. Oops, wrong button. Here. And I'll do that. And then I'm going to quit out, by the way. So here's what happened, right? I was going to finish this idea. Let me power down into rest mode. Okay, so with the rise of the middle classes and this sort of change, this appropriation of like opera and Shakespeare, et cetera, from the working classes, and there's this whole change in audience behavior sort of being sort of put upon them from above. Then there's a change in acting styles, right? Where acting, which we should be very broad and all this stuff becomes very like less broad, like very proper. And you don't sort of do a lot of gesticulation or all that kind of stuff. Like there's a whole big sort of shift that happens to finish the story that I started with. Magic and technology are opposed and they don't play well together is an axiom. It can be true for a game story, but it doesn't have to be. You get to decide on the axioms for your game, then extrapolate from there. And of course, there can be exceptions. So this actually was interesting because you remember Booth, right, who shot Lincoln? His brother was part of this sort of war of these competing styles. Nonetheless, what ends up happening is that this new style ends up becoming the style, right? It sort of takes over. And that becomes the style for a really long time. It's a fairly sort of, it is what it is. And then with the method coming in, right, in the 50s-ish, we get this new style of acting, which is very, very different. And there's a lot of tension between it as well, between the old style and this new style, what was the new style, right? And the story, the famous story that there are these two famous stories that both involve Laurence Olivier that really sort of highlights these differences. One is when Laurence Olivier was in the film Marathon Man with Dustin Hoffman, who's a big method actor. Laurence Olivier is not, because he's from the older style, which a lot of British actors who are Shakespearean and also from a little bit older are from this older style. And so they're waiting on set for a scene, and Dustin Hoffman's a little bit late. He shows up and he's completely sweaty and like just a sweat monster. And Olivia's like, where have you been and what is going on? And Dustin Hoffman said, well, I'm in this scene. I have just finished running a marathon. So I wanted to run, so that I could do the scene. And Olivia said, my dear boy, have you ever tried acting? Right. And that is like the sort of the tension between, wait, and then let me tell you one other story that will sort of finish the idea. Olivia was in a play, and so something kind of intense. And at one time, he doing it over and over again, right? And at one point in time, he cries on stage, like tears start running down his face. And when the play is over, he gathers the whole cast together and he says, I want to apologize that I cried on stage. I just got a little bit too emotional and it will not happen again. And so there are these very different sort of ideas of what you're doing is in acting. Does that mean you would not find actors today that make improper theater for everyone? It's hard. Because you have to, the thing is, there are actors who do these other styles. They do exist. It's just that they're not they certainly exist. So in this other style, you're supposed to act, right? You are supposed to act. You do not need to feel sad to act sad. And also, just because you feel sad doesn't mean that the audience will believe you're sad, because audiences have an idea of what sadness looks like or what anger looks like or these things. They have an idea. And if you, like, I could be angry, but it would not read angry for an audience. So what you need to do is you need to read angry or read sad. And that's technique, right? So in this particular style, what you do is you do technique. You learn how to act like you're sad in a way that the audience will believe is sad or angry. Like, so what it's about technique, right? So there's the style that there's technique. You don't need to feel any of it, right? You just need, because it doesn't actually matter if you feel it or not. What matters is whether or not the audience believes you. And so there's that style, this sort of older style, which is about technique, and you just sort of, you do your job. And then there's the method style, which is based on, but I'll be doing away some of the, they don't get a lot of big name work. Yeah. And then the other style, which is method, which has sort of been watered down into what was taught as sense memory. And so when I was taking theater classes, they're like, we have to do sense memory. So we sat there in a circle and they're like, okay, in this scene, you're going to have to be angry. And so we want you all to sit in this circle and go back to a moment in your life when you were really, really angry. And we want you to feel angry. We want you to be angry. We want to make you really angry. That's what you need to do. You need, like, to act, what you need to do is actually just be in those feelings. And the way you access those feelings is by like finding a moment in your past when you had those feelings, and then you sort of just re-feel those feelings again. And I remember we were all sitting in this circle, and I was a teenager at this time, and we were all sitting in this circle and we were like trying to like concentrate on our feelings so we could get the feelings and all that. And one of the kids, a guy, he was not the greatest actor. Like, he didn't have a lot of experience, and he wasn't particularly, like, he was put in these acting classes because I think his parents thought it would be good for him, because he was just not particularly expressive, and he was very internal and very he's very internal, right? He was very internal. He was not very expressive. So he was pretty wooden when we were doing acting stuff. And we were all sitting there like doing our sense memory stuff. And we were sitting on chairs in a circle. And in the middle of us all concentrating and trying to feel our feelings and angers, he gets up, he grabs his chair, and he throws it across the room in this super violent outburst, and then storms out of the room because he went and he put himself in his feelings and he basically exploded. And we were all like, whoa, that's super intense. And then there was like a whole discussion. How was he doing? But like the way we have this idea of what grief looks like, but individuals grieve in their own ways. Yes. And if you grieve in your own way, it's not going to work on stage. You know what I mean? Like, if the way that you grieve does not work with our imagination of grief, and we have a couple different ones, but that we don't have, like, it will not work well. Acting most emotions well is a full body experience. Yeah. There is an entire song in the chorus line about how this doesn't always work. Yeah. Nothing. Yes. Mm-hmm. Going to pop up and start my answer. Oh, really? Red Rum Jiggler? Are you going to go and stream right now? How interesting, because that says to me that I'm going to raid you. Red Rum Jiggler, I'm going to raid you. When you start up, I'm gonna bring you up so I know when you go live, and then I'm going to raid you. That's what's going to happen. And I'm really excited about raiding you, but I need to pull up your page so that we can do the raid. And then I'm going to raid you. When I see that you're live, I'm going to raid you. And then we're going to say hi. And I'm really excited about it. I get to raid you. I'm so excited. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm going to raid you. That's it. I'm going to raid you because also your break screen, your away screen is really cool. So your away screen is really, really cool. I like it. It's got really great graphics. It feels a little 80s, and we're going to raid you. Just so you know it. Just so you know. And nothing like you don't express your emotions, so you must be wrong. So we will send you to classes to learn to show emotions, which, and like, I was like, I remember some of the Scrubs cast talking about how they couldn't act that way because of how the balance of comedy and drama need to pull off the show. Yeah. Twitch really needs that don't join raids option I can set. And the thing is that there's like this big tension, right? Because are you really acting if all you're doing is just feeling it? Do you know what I mean? Like, then maybe you're not acting, but also maybe you need therapy. If what you need to do is work through your feelings, maybe you should go to therapy, because acting is not therapy. It is acting. It is a job where you have a job to do, which is to make your audience believe what's going on. Anyway, the point that I wanted to get to from the very beginning was that one of the things I think is really fascinating is that when it comes to method, people tend to think about male actors, and most of those male actors have problems with masculinity. What I mean by that is, method acting is a way to prove that you're macho, is what I'm trying to say, right? That proves that because you suffer, like you're not like just come an actor, just like Christian Bale said. He had this quote about how acting is really, he's like, acting's not particularly manly. You just you sit around and you wear makeup. You're not like really manly like a lumberjack. He had this whole thing about like how actors wear makeup and so they're not manly and they're not masculine because it's not a real job. And actors who say that tend to be method actors, and they tend to prove that they really are manly because because they lost 40 pounds and might die. They're out in the mountains, right? There's this whole kind of way in which the way that we do method acting in the US from like the 60s onward is really like caught up in anxiety around masculinity and sexuality and also toxic masculinity. And a lot of those method actor dudes are like, they're like tough. Like, it's creepy is what I'm trying to tell you. I think it's creepy. And yes, Missile Monkey says the trick is acting an emotion without eventually becoming that emotion. Twitch also needs a hold to confirm unfollow because the computer GUI assets like to jump around. Oh yeah, that's true. Jared says, that being said, bleed can happen in acting. While you're not being method, you can still derive those emotions through bleed, but they're different. There's a difference between, and I do want to talk about this at some point in time. There's a difference between what I would say is bleed and what I would call vicarious emotions. I think those things are actually quite different. And I think it's important to make a distinction between bleed and vicarious emotions. Skyman X says, Christian Bale also screams at people. He does. He definitely has a lot of issues with machismo. Yeah. I've acted angry several times and had to legitimately calm myself down. Everyone's like, yeah, he's messed up. So there's a difference between, I would say, between vicarious emotions and bleed. And Too Many Hats. Oh, I have all their albums. Oh. Ads lives at talking like, and I think about this in terms of like when I go to a movie that's a scary movie, I'm going there because I want to be scared. Or if I watch a melodrama, like a good weepy, I go there to like get really sad and cry. But when I'm scared, when I'm watching a horror movie, generally speaking, I would say it's a vicarious fear because I know I'm not in danger and I'm not in that film. I know the difference between me and that film. And it is a feeling of fear that is regulated, right? Because it's not actual fear. I'm not actually afraid of my life. And it allows me to experience emotions in a kind of a remove, right? Like I feel fear, but I'm feel vicariously. I still understand the distinction between myself and fiction, between reality and fiction. Like, I know the difference between those things, and I also know that my feelings are they're not as intense, they're not as sharp. I feel them. Like I see a movie and I can be wrecked, right? But and I am wrecked, but I also know that there's a difference between seeing a melodrama like Steel Magnolias and crying at the end of Steel Magnolias, and somebody, because spoilers, and like actual terrible things happening to me in real life. And oftentimes, how I might express sorrow when I'm feeling it vicariously is different than how I might experience it in real life. And when I am playing an RPG, I'm also acting. And so how anger or sorrow is expressed is often not how I would express it. I feel the feelings vicariously, but they are not mine. They are echoes of feelings, right? They're there. And part of the reason why I play is because I enjoy vicarious feelings. Like, I love the torture that Prax is giving me right now. Yanto does not love the torture that Yanto has. Yanto is in a bad space. Yanto's not feeling fine right now. I love it. And I get to sort of feel vicariously Yanto's guilt, while also noting those like Yanto. I get to feel that guilt vicariously, which is enjoyable. I get to feel fear, frustration. I get to feel all sorts of things, but I feel them vicariously, and I feel them through a lens of a different character that is not me, right? So I do not express my feelings the way that Yanto expresses his feelings. Yanto has different emotional reactions than I do because we're just not the same person. And so what I get to do is I get to feel vicariously Yanto's feelings, which are different from mine and not how I would react. And that's interesting to like sort of be there for that moment, but they're not my feelings. I always know there's a difference between my character and me, even when I personally am crying. Like, if I give myself to a vicarious emotion of sorrow and I cry, I'm like, oh, I'm just in this moment, and I'm weeping and I'm feeling sadness. There's always that part of me that remembers my blocking, right? Like, there's always a part of me that remembers, no matter what is happening, I need to make sure that I do not step on my fellow players' spotlight time. I need to make sure that I'm still like speaking into the microphone, that I'm articulating my words like you do in theater. Like, you can't be so in your feelings that you mumble and no one can hear what you're saying. I still remember I have to remember all of the technique, which is not, you cannot lose yourself if you want your technique to be good still, because then you're not doing the thing. And so for me, there's a difference between vicarious feelings and then bleed feelings, where you are no longer able to distinguish between your feelings and your character's feelings, and your character's feelings become your feelings. And that for me is very, very different. It's a very different situation. And yeah, we did skirt around the Toga talk today, and you were mentioning about having, oh yeah, I just wouldn't say that Prax has things to say about Togas. I'm certain of it. And that's what I'm saying. I get nightmares from horror films. That might mean that you have too much bleed there, that it's not vicarious. Of course, I've had several times in live action role-playing games where I've stomped off and people have followed me to make sure I'm not actually angry. Once they find out I'm not, they tend to say, oh, okay, that's scary, right? Because people worry about bleed. Woe is me. Showing emotions and fake emotions are actually two different things. Or showing vicarious emotions, right, I think is different. I mentioned Trooper would look good in a toga during an RPG-based in ancient Greece, but I wouldn't. Right? I'm sure he would look good in a toga, but not in Greece. Thank you. Unless it's during Roman imperial control. Thank you. This is what I was trying to say. Yep. Mumbling on stage is frowned upon, especially when you are supposed to be mumbling. Yes, you're not supposed to actually mumble on stage, because that's the thing. It's a little bit different in film, but even then, I mean, that's the thing. The trick of acting is to look like you're not acting, but you still have to do your job. And if you're in film or television, I'm going to go, but I'm going to say this. Unless you've been on set, or study this, you have no idea how artificial a film set is. What seems to you as the most real thing is it is way less real I personally found television a little bit harder to do than theater, because with theater, it's continuous. You start and then you go intermission and you end. And so you can kind of like build up the momentum and you're doing it. But in film and television, so often, like, you know, those scenes where people are having a scene with each other and it's super intense, or having that conversation and it's like really emotional, it's really intense. Sometimes those two people are not even on the set at the same time, right? If it's a lot of reverse shot where they're not even talking to each other. And oftentimes they can't be, because you have to be looking into the camera. So they're not actually looking at the person they're talking to. They're looking to a camera, pretending like they're talking to the person. So
Come on
often,
in my house.
it's just not even there. By the way, come on in my house, come on. Come on in my house, come on. Come on in my house, I'm gonna give you candy. Come on in my house, I'm gonna give you everything. Thank you so much for that raid, Bright Dystopia. Welcome in, raiders. It's a void raid. I'm gonna give you our raid command because I love it.
Somebody's watching me.
Ooh. I always feel that somebody's watching me, and I have no privacy. Whoa, I always feel that somebody's watching me. Tell me, is it just a dream? Thank you, raiders. Welcome in. We're just about to go and raid Red Rum Jiggler at this moment, because we're just about to finish. Welcome in. How was your stream, by the way, Bright Dystopia? What were you doing, and what were you streaming, and how was it? Give us the deets as we're making our way to the world today. Apexing. How are you doing? We're gonna raid Red Rum Jiggler, who's playing Left 4 Dead 2, and give like some love over there, which I'm very excited about. Bright tortured me with an Australian accent. Nice. I wish I could do an Australian accent. Australian accents are really hard. Look, I'm just telling you, Australian accents are super hard. They have like triphthongs, like what they do with their vowels is intense. One day I'll get it, but I do not have it. No, I will. I'm encouraging you. All the Australian accent, all the time. You do it. Say the word no in that way that it's like 3 syllables long. I'm into it. Okay, so we're gonna raid. Let me tell you where you can find me. So first off, thank you, raiders. We're gonna go raid Red Rum Jiggler, who's super cool, and I think it'll be nice to sort of like give some love over there. It's Saturday. Tomorrow is Sunday. You can find me over at Kobold Press for Into the Southlands at 5 p.m. Eastern RPG. And then next Wednesday, you can find me over at Praxagor the Smorphoria's channel for Witcher Roads Home, where my character has made many poor decisions in his life and is going to just have to deal with that. That is, it's one of the things. Also, he's a hypocrite, but he doesn't think he is, because he's a hypocrite, because he thinks it's different when he does things than when other people do it. Because, yep. So, but his hypocrisy also applies to his hypocrisy. So that's consistent at least. And then you'll find me back on Thursday for, Original Sin, Divinity Original Sin over on my channel, 6 p.m. And also Dot's channel, and Eastern. And Prax is over at 8 p.m. on her channel on Wednesday. And then Friday is episode 2 of City of Light and Shadow, a French Resistance campaign, on my channel at 7 p.m. And it will be Greg, Grimjack, and also Rocket Fox, Oscar and Regina, on their sort of duo mission with 2 guest stars, Love Lindy, who's gonna be awesome, and also Josh, a Gaming FTL, who's also gonna be awesome, and they're gonna be traveling to Berlin, and I'm sure there will be stuff, is all I'm saying. That's it. I gotta go. I'm going. We're gonna raid, and then I'm gonna get food. Alien just, oh no. Yeah, thank you, Alien. It's like, oh no. It's like I can't even do it. It's so intense. Right? Like I wish I could get it, but like, it's like, there's like 3 vowels in there, and I don't even know how to deal with that, because it's pretty intense. Oh, one of my mods, I should say this, just soft eye, so no. I'm gonna get all the foods. So if you would like, you can follow if you want. If you don't want to follow, you don't have to. If you want to subscribe, you can. We also have a Discord Our Discord, thank you for the RPGs. Thank you. Our Discord is great. You can come and hang out and join us. And I'm going to make a new channel for creative stuff. And also, you can follow me on Twitter at Academic Foxhole. You can follow me at YouTube on Trooper SJP. And I'm going to upload a stitched together version of last night's episode of City of Light and Shadow, and with the audio fixed, because I can do that. And also I have a Patreon, which is at Academic Foxhole, and that is to support RPGs on this channel, and you can go and support if you like. And that's it. That's where we can find all the stuff. And we're going to go and do a raid, and I'm in it. I'm in it to win it. Oh, and by the way, if you want to, give our raid command if you want. And it means this is not a raid, and it's an art joke. That's it. So a little bit of postmodernism, my friends. I will catch you on the flip side. I will see you later, everybody. Bye.